Hey, it's August the 13th. Really? 2019? It's the Giant Bombcast. Is it really August 13th?
Happy birthday, Mom.
Oh, hey, happy birthday, Jan's mom.
Hey, it's my mom's birthday in a week.
Aw. Shout out to moms.
Hey,
Jan Ochoa's mom's son, Jan, is here.
That's me.
Hello.
Hey,
happy
call him.
birthday to your mom.
I didn't get her anything.
Oh,
Yet.
what?
Yet.
What?
I took her to a fancy church because she's Catholic.
The day is young. There's still time.
Yes.
Plenty of time. You'll figure something out.
Maybe.
Matt Rory here.
Hi, how are
Hello.
you?
Hi.
Not too bad.
Jason Striker.
Fancy church.
Hello.
Not so long ago.
That's fancy church. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So I was just
It's a good
relating
story.
to a story.
Thank you. Good pack.
Hi, I went to a fancy church a year or two ago
Okay.
for my grandpa's service. It's this weird little church that's like right in the middle of downtown San Francisco. You guys ever go to that French one with the really beautiful stained glass?
No.
It's like in
I've heard of it.
between a McDonald's and like a Kinko's or something, but
Yes.
it's just there.
Yes, that one.
Yeah.
I live about 100 feet from a church.
I'm sorry.
Those church bells are
Oh,
Ringing.
yeah. That's
prominent.
like a Russian,
Those are prominent.
big old,
Ringing.
Yeah.
huge church with big old bells.
Yeah. It's fine.
No one wants to shake hands anymore.
No?
No. Like,
Oh,
when we
do
get
they
to that
The
part,
make peace part.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm reaching my hand out actively to people. And then no one just like, what's up, man? Thanks.
It's a disease vector.
Interesting.
I
Everybody's-
guess.
I
everybody's
tried
just-
doing like the Millie Rock towards them and see if they do it back. Maybe that's just where culture has evolved to.
Maybe that's where what I got to do.
I don't know if you guys noticed, but I think we're in it now.
Yeah, I think so.
Madden came out a couple weeks
Oh,
ago.
it's heating up.
And
It's
then,
time.
we've been looking at, there's basically a week at the end of this month with, 5 big games coming out all in 1 week.
Yeah.
And those games are showing up now.
Yeah.
we have
No.
we have 2 of those games here, and I just got an NDA for another one in my email this morning.
Yeah.
It's almost the fall time.
Yeah.
I got one game a month
is-
before its release date. A
It's
month.
I feel like we just finished Game of the Year.
Jeez.
We're about to start the fall.
It's gonna be fun.
Thing, yeah.
I always like this time of year.
Yeah.
It's always
A
nice
lot of
to
games.
see. Yeah, it's been not a slow couple months, but not like the most
Yeah, it's been
exciting couple months.
Pretty
So.
quiet so far.
Looking
for
forward to some AAA stuff.
the summer. But forget video games. There's only one thing I want
Good.
to hear about.
Yeah.
Mm.
Weird Al.
Yeah, dude. I went and saw Weird Al live at the Greek Theater in Berkeley. It was I think it was a sold out show. It looked pretty damn full. But he's touring right now with a 41-piece orchestra.
Wow, man.
Yeah,
Holy
it was
crap.
Expensive.
It was astonishing. So it was like a full so I haven't seen him perform before, but I've always heard he puts on like a hell of a show.
Yeah, he does.
Even so, it was great because I went with my partner and we were wondering beforehand, like, what is the average makeup of the audience of a Weird Al show in 2019?
That shit's weird.
It was everyone.
Yeah.
Like,
Wow.
it was
Oh, that's
honestly
cool.
like complete age range, like pretty even spread gender wise, just like people with their families, people like young people on dates, just like everyone was down for Weird Al. The problem was to get in line to get in. If you've ever been to the Greek Theater in Berkeley, it's up on a big
It's
hill,
a long walk.
and you have to kind of walk up the hill.
Oh, yeah,
It's a good mile and
to
a
get
half.
in line.
Not a mile and a half, but at least a mile or so. It's crazy.
And somebody else put it best when they said, we heard them walking by saying it, just panting, like, I think they vastly underestimate the athletic ability of the average Weird Al fan.
Sure.
It's a big hike. I mean, it's on a college campus, so they expect a lot of pedestrians. But and they do shuttles if you really need.
Yeah,
something,
like
but
there were shuttles and there were
it's-
multiple entry points
yeah.
and stuff. But
it's a big hike.
yeah, man, it was astonishing. It was just an incredible live show.
Did he do all the costume changes?
He
still?
did tons of
He still do?
costume
Okay.
changes.
Wow.
He had a huge screen that he'd play media from, like stuff he's done cameos in, clips from UHF.
Oh, yeah, because UHF, just turned 30, I think?
Yeah, and so like
Yeah,
that would
boy.
kind of pad out the costume changes. He would have clips of like people making fun of him in movies and stuff. He seemed like a good sport about all that. He did old stuff, like the Jurassic Park song, and I Lost on Jeopardy. He did new stuff. He did Word Crimes, White and Nerdy. Just like really great show. He did. The highlight though was seeing Amish Paradise performed live with a 41-piece
That
orchestra.
sounds amazing.
It was It was incredible. He had like backup dancers and singers who were really good. He came out on a Segway for part of it. He was in the crowd. It was just like that man.
Consummate performer.
He's ageless.
Yeah, he's ageless. He's a great performer, and he knows like the thing about Weird Al is the songs are good. Like he gets good musicians,
Yeah.
but it's not like the thing. You're not sitting there just like listening to the music because it's parody songs, so they're trying to match an established song. They're not like going for these insane performances. He does have original songs, but you know, he knows you're not there to like sit quietly and listen to a bunch of music because it's all. I mean, that's part of it, but you're there for like a comedic experience, and he really amplified that. It was great.
How much
Oh
were the
my
tickets?
God.
If you don't mind me asking.
They weren't that bad. It was like 40 a piece. We got
At all for
no
40 person.
we were pretty out there, but like yeah, it's a lot cheaper than the share tickets I bought. We could go. I'll tell you that.
Share tickets, I bet.
Woo,
Still premium
boy.
pricing.
I bet
They're
you
for a
got
birthday.
just as much auto tune with Weird Al.
Oh yeah, probably. And
Did-
she's playing at the new stadium where the Warriors are going to play. That's going to be my
cool.
first time there.
Yeah.
Did he have the fat suit?
He did not have the fat
Oh.
suit. He didn't do fat.
I'm pretty sure Weird Al was my first concert when I was like 13.
Really?
Wow.
And I'm
Wow.
pretty sure he did the fat suit for that one.
He was
Maybe
a little less mobile.
Yeah.
I'd
Okay.
say. You know, he's
Yeah.
getting up there.
Sure.
He also maybe not. I don't know if he's still playing that song. It's not the nicest kind of thing to do. And
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And you do notice
not that I
some
complain about it, but
old stuff, like some things in like a line here and there in old songs. You're like, oh, he really just couldn't start. Like if that was coming out now, people would be a little different.
I'm not even familiar with his recent work.
I
From,
don't
say the
think
last
he's-
10, 15 years.
So
here's
he was in like an 11 record contract or something crazy like that, and he just did the 11th one like a few years ago with like around Blurred Lines and like that era of
11
song.
records. It's a long contract, man.
Yeah, it was basically from the 80s to like 2015.
You can pad that shit out with like greatest hits collections. I know the record labels like get you away with that, but there's 11 records. I'd say.
Yeah,
It's a
and he
long
got
time
pretty
to be locked
vocal
in.
around the
Yeah.
time of the 11th record of being like, hey, so I don't think I'm going to do a record for a little while.
Yeah.
I'm just going to kind of like tour and maybe do some singles.
I mean,
and we'll
that's
see.
in this Spotify era. That's really what a lot of people do. Just put out singles and put a video every few months and like make that your thing.
Yeah.
Man, 11 records. Jeez.
But yeah, he was, you know, he did the whole like James Brown, I want to go on, but I can't guy coming out like draping him in a cape and pulling him away and then wrestling away from the guy. It was just such a fun, entertaining show.
How long
And,
was
Sounds great.
about 2 hours.
Good.
Yeah.
Good, yeah.
Yeah. And
Weird Al is the great unifier.
yeah,
Brings everybody together.
it was just like such a happy, nice place. And the two dudes in bucket hats sitting next to us left a giant bag of weed behind that fell out of their pocket. And we were like, no, come back. Okay, you're just gone. You're out of here.
Do you have an opener?
No.
No?
No,
Wow.
the,
Oh,
orchestra, the
wow.
orchestra played a little like just you know they warmed up with like some they did kind of like a medley of like Star Wars and other songs.
Yeah.
But
I always like it when a band has no opener. If they're big enough to play for 2 hours, like Feist did that a few years ago. She played just one of her albums all the way through, and then did a bunch of other stuff, her hits, and it was like awesome. Because sometimes I love openers. I've found some amazing bands through being openers, and maybe even sometimes a first opener. But we're going to see Godspeed You Black Emperor this Sunday, and I swear to God, the opener just. Yeah, I don't even remember saying it's a terrible anecdote, but I looked at it and immediately you kind of know, like, I don't want to sit through that.
yeah,
It's
sometimes
really
you
noodly.
know when you see an
Yeah.
opener, you're like, okay, I don't even know why the band I like has picked you.
There was a really weird one a few years ago where just a guy like doing that noodly stuff with like a you know synths and everything. And eventually everybody started talking to each other because it was so boring. And he just said, "I guess you guys want to see the headliner, don't you?" And they're like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
we do."
Just simultaneously with all this, yes.
Whoa.
Yeah. So
But you have to know that as an opener. I don't
Yeah.
like.
I mean,
have
I've
to
seen
own
play-
it.
if you're playing for 7 people, you still have to show up and do it. This guy had a pretty good crowd. It just lost everybody pretty much immediately because it's so different than the other opener and the headliner. But good opener is a good thing, but a bad opener is like, man, you're just sitting there. You can't really talk. You're
Yeah.
just like, oh man, I got 7 more songs of this. Oh no.
The time in between openers is also hellish.
Oh yeah.
I remember I went to go see Lupe Fiasco at a small club.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And there was like 40 minutes in between 3 openers.
Yeah.
And then he finally decided to go on.
Oh,
But before he performed, he did the thing that artists love to do now. It's like, put your phones away.
Yeah.
Put your phones away.
Oh, come on.
Just, whatever. It was an okay show.
The splits are tough. Does everybody go get a beer at the same time? Do you all go to pee at the same time? Do you lose your
Exactly.
space?
You lose your
The alchemy. It's so tough.
I will say I saw exactly maybe more. There were maybe more out there, but I saw 2 people playing Fire Emblem at the Weird Al show,
Okay. All right.
and I was like, "Damn it! I shouldn't have left my Switch in the car."
I could see some overlap in that. Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
That game doesn't have any kind of multiplayer or anything, does it?
No, it has some online hooks where like you can see spots on the like sort of Dark Souls style. You can see spots on the battlefield where people died, and there's like
This
here's
is
what
this
other
many
people did.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like the Persona 4 Golden kind of stuff.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
actually a lot
Okay,
similar to
no,
that.
no like head-to-head battles or anything.
Not yet, no.
Okay.
Though they while we're talking about Fire Emblem, I've been playing that. And I won't take much more time about it because we've been talking about it. Still good, still getting really good. I'm like 12 or 13 chapters in.
How long? How far? Because I hear this game is massively long.
I would say it's like 16, 18 hours.
Yeah, what did Hallie say? She played like 85 hours or
5
something?
hours for her first playthrough. I'm starting to realize something that's cool in this game is there's a ton of branching paths. It seems like kind of initially it seemed like there'd be 3 paths because there's 3 houses and each one of those is like A, B, and C story, like A, B, and C perspectives on the main story. Like there's a story that transcends all the class stuff, but even within, I'm seeing and hearing and experiencing a lot of instances where like I'll talk to somebody about like, oh, did you think this was weird? And they're like, I'm in the same house as you, and that never happened to me. And it turns out you have to talk to a certain person. Like sounds like there's a lot of game hidden still in this game. And yeah, also I don't know if you guys heard, they just started unearthing like what appears to be DLC. It's gonna be free DLC. That's gonna be like a nightmare mode. Where so Jan, this will make sense to you. Have you encountered the Death Knight?
Yes.
So you know how like he won't fuck with you if you don't fuck with him? It's just a super powerful unit that like rolls out. And he's kind of like a bodyguard to the bad guy, and he's just basically like, I'm here to fight, but like I don't want to fight weaklings. So you have to make the first move on him. And he's super strong. You have to like really kind of approach him with your whole army or something if you want to defeat him. But basically on this hardcore mode, he can move.
Not if you're the Golden Deer and you pick Lysithea because she's just anyway. So he's active now.
Yeah, he's active now.
Okay, that's actually terrifying.
And so he'll just chase you down in one hit.
Just one Death Knight?
Yeah, one
Okay.
Death Knight, and like normally when he is there, but like stuff like that, the enemies are smarter, they're more aggressive and stuff. It sounds like it's gonna be a nightmare.
Because
what
I've been
I've heard
running
about-
into... I'm sorry.
No, that's what I've heard about Fire Emblem. It
Yeah.
needs to be harder
Yeah.
for a lot of people.
Yeah,
Sorry, go on, Jen.
I've been running into a wall where like my units are a little bit, maybe 1 or 2 levels higher than like the enemies, and then I'm just kind of automatically just going through the battles because I'm too strong.
I really wish I could change to hard on the fly. I really wish I could bump up the difficulty. It might be in there, but I saw some people talking about it, but I dug through all the menus trying to search for it, and I couldn't. It normal is just too easy, especially if you're doing any of the like faculty stuff.
Yeah.
Like if you, because all the like socializing persona stuff has benefits. It's raising their levels, it's raising their proficiencies in their weapons and stuff like that, teaching them new spells.
They have post-release support. It might be nice to have like a level matching, level scaling, like they did
the
on Assassin's
Ni no Kuni
Creed.
too.
Odyssey did that too. You can set it to different levels. Like you'd be 4 above, 2 above, or exactly the same.
Yeah,
Sometimes exactly the same is a little tough with a bunch of people, but then 2 above is kind of manageable. So
yeah.
it'd be nice. All right.
It
Sounds
is-
like they have post-release support for that game.
Yeah.
I'm playing.
Yeah.
So.
It is nice being able to like kind of. I used the auto battle for the first time on just some of the side quests that you pick up, and if you're even close to the recommended level, you can straight up auto battle through those and
Does
just,
it does
wipe
it
them.
favor your stronger units there, or
There's like 4 different options you could choose from,
okay.
like charge, cautious, whatever.
Sure.
And so if you put like the units that you want to prioritize leveling in the front and tell them to charge, they're just going to run in there.
Okay.
Can you lose units through automated battle?
You can. The nice thing is it does it 1 turn at a time and lets you like review it after the turn. And there's a way you can roll back.
Yeah.
There's like in the game itself, there's just a system where you can roll back. So between those 2 things, like I never came close to having somebody die, but it seems like you can play it pretty safe.
Good. That's always been my thing about Fire Emblem. Like I hated permadeath.
Yeah.
But saves come only go so far.
Totally.
That game sounds cool as hell.
Yeah.
And I'm happy for all the people who are into it, but it just sounds like so much to bite off.
Yeah, I'll let you know what I think of the ending of it in 2021.
Yeah, maybe you will finish it before Game of the Year.
Maybe.
This year. Yeah.
Trying to finish it twice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really want to. I kind of want to do a Golden Deer playthrough.
It's fun.
Is that one of the houses?
Yes.
What is
Yeah,
it?
that's Jan chose.
Black lions?
Black eagles,
Black eagles.
blue
Blue
lions,
lions.
silver snakes, purple monkeys,
Okay.
Blue barracuda, golden deer.
Okay. Golden deer represent.
Yes. Oh God, it's so fun. They're a bunch of
Um,
shitheads.
Nice. Wait, really?
Like good shitheads. Like
Okay.
like we're a bunch of friends.
Okay.
We have a good time.
I was gonna say the golden deer sounds like the goody two shoes kind of house. To
they're
me.
the most fun house.
Well, hang on. Okay. I'm gonna say the blue lions or the Gryffindors.
The Blue Lions are the holy racists. The
Oh.
Black Eagles are the imperialists,
Okay.
and the
These are-
Golden Deers are everybody else.
These are very different archetypes than I was expecting.
I mean, those are like where they come from, but the
Okay.
characters are trying to break those,
Okay.
stereotypes.
Sure.
or enforce those.
Or
stereotypes.
enforce them, depending on
jeez.
your actions, maybe.
Okay.
I did snipe a couple Golden Deers. I got Raphael, and I'm getting
Raphael's useless.
What? He's my strongest boy.
It's all about Kilda.
Kilda.
Oh, you can't.
Kilda?
Her name's
Oh,
Hilda.
is she the second in command?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do you get people from their houses?
You
Throw
can-
flowers at them.
Yeah, you
invite
give them
to tea
hundreds of
parties.
flowers,
Is there
drink
like
tea
a-
with them.
A hub world that you go to talk to these people?
your
Okay.
monastery that they're all studying at.
That's right. This is all taking place in a church.
Yeah.
Oh God.
But it's a classic church.
But nobody wants to shake hands.
No.
They're fine accepting hundreds of flowers and teddy bears, though.
Yeah, it's just there was a tweet about this where it's basically like I'm a cool normal professor who has 7 meals with my students every day and just gives them hundreds of flowers so they join my holy war.
Are you working on? So you're working on relationship stories with each character? Do you have to pick which ones like
And
persona?
then each
You
of
and
those
them-
characters have relationships with each other
Okay.
Yeah.
that you have to bolster up. Oh, great.
Wow.
You get some fun stuff in there.
Yeah.
There's some of them where it's like we really have no idea why these two characters would be talking, but we have to do it.
Yeah.
So there's, I don't know. They're just like Bernadette and Caspar have this thing where they're carrying each other to fun locations around the castle. It's like they're like, this is the 35th plot line I've had to write this week. I don't fucking know anymore, man.
Man, I'm getting just encouraging my student to pursue art.
Yeah.
It's a good time.
Yeah.
Rebel Galaxy Outlaw came out like 3 hours ago, 2
Oh
hours
wow,
ago.
yeah.
I was very sad.
Oh yeah,
I
son.
was very sad that it didn't come out yesterday, so I could play some of it before this podcast.
Yeah.
But it just launched this morning, like right before we came in here. But you played any more of that?
I played a couple more hours since our quick look.
Okay.
We got one on the site. Will Smith came by.
Captain Will Smith and his HOTAS came in
Hell yeah.
to play some of that. That game seems like a lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot of game in there.
Holy cow, there's a ton of game, and they unfortunately don't do a really it's a double-edged thing where I get that it's a game about space exploration, it's a game about kind of like running into stuff organically, experiencing it for the first time, figuring out
about
what you
space
want to
trucking.
do. Yeah. Or it could be about space pirating or space freighting or space, there's just like so many different paths you can approach things from other than the main story where you have to do, it's kind of teaching you how to do a little bit of everything, but they don't onboard you at all. It's really one of these games where
They expect you to have like some kind of previous experience with that.
Yeah.
Which is weird because the genre has been effectively
It's
like
been a
dead for
while,
the last
yeah.
decade.
So what are some other games you would compare this to?
Elite Dangerous.
Privateer.
Well, kind of Elite Dangerous, but like that game is so open-ended and mechanics driven. Like that game doesn't really have,
We talk
from
about space shooters.
from my understanding, much of a story.
I
like,
miss
this is-
Freelancer. I've heard this game compared to Freelancer.
Yeah,
a little
yeah.
bit,
Like
which
some
seems
like Will was saying, it's like Wing Commander Privateer is probably the closest comparison. And I never played Freelancer, but it sounds like Freelancer was kind of Privateer.
Well, Freelancer was the big one that didn't not launch. I forget. It did launch. I think the default control was mouse keyboard, which a lot of people were up in arms like you didn't need a thing to play. But the
Yeah.
interface is actually
this
pretty
they
decent.
are pushing this hard on gamepads. Like they are saying this is a gamepad game.
Yeah.
You can use a flight stick if you really want, but we didn't really make it for that. So
I mean,
I think
I've been
that, I
using
think that,
keyboard mouse and
that,
it's
that
fine.
era is over, I think. But yeah, like Will was saying, like it's it's a little bit of TIE Fighter, it's a little bit of Privateer, a little bit of Freelancer.
Yeah, so basically, there's a plot. You're trying to avenge the death of your husband. You're out there tracking somebody down, and they like shoot down your ship mid-fight, and so you kind of have to like pick up this junker and start taking on jobs, and try and find it. It's cool. It's really atmospheric.
Is it an abilities at the very beginning?
No, it's
No?
a cutscene.
Okay.
At the beginning.
I don't know why. I mean, I didn't play the first Rebel Galaxy, so maybe I just had skewed expectations. But I thought we were going to get like character creator and kind of open ended,
Right.
like more RPG-ish kind of
Yeah.
thing.
But
I was
you're-
surprised to find out it's like a named character.
Yeah,
with a
you're
set
like the
storyline.
aunt of the character
Yeah.
from the first.
Which is fine.
game.
Like it's totally fine. It's just different than kind of what I thought I was getting into.
Yeah, but the customization where it really comes in is in the ship. You start out with like a very simple junker little ship, but there's
Basically a garbage scow.
yeah. I just got my first ship that I bought with my own money. There's kind of like 2 at the 100,000 tier, and then like 4 out there, and then. But then you can also just there's straight up a Photoshop ass UI ship editor in there where you can like use tools to paint and stuff. There's filters, there's all that stuff.
Get them anime titties up in there.
You can
yeah.
just put literally what's something you've always wanted to see on a spaceship, Rory?
Oh
Anime-
boy.
I'm asking Rory because I know your answer.
Flubber.
Gosh, I don't even know. You put me on the spot.
That's what that's what a podcast is.
Come on, man.
You got this.
Giant bomb logo.
Hey, you
Hey.
should watch the quick look, buddy. You can see it right there. But yeah, you could literally just take a PNG and slap it on your
Yeah.
ship.
Is there a multiplayer for this? Like, are you
No.
Okay.
No.
No, it's all single player. There's also apparently mod support either in or coming.
Okay.
Oh,
Maybe it's not in yet, but like straight up sounds like new ship designs and stuff will be possible.
Yeah, that
With all
sounds really cool.
Yeah. So
Um,
you'll have your X-wing in there soon, probably.
Yeah. So, there will be any kind of famous. It's like the creator wrestler equivalent of like whenever there's a new WWE game. It's like here's all the wrestlers who aren't in the game day one. It'll be like Star Destroyer, Millennium Falcon, TIE Fighter, X-wing, and then like
The Enterprise.
the Enterprise.
Yeah. Usually.
But it's cool. Like it's a little disorienting playing one of these space shooters for the first time, just because like stuff like your map is kind of like I'm sure there's a better
Sphere,
way,
yeah.
but yeah, it's like a spherical thing. You have to worry about. It's most video game mini maps are 2D. And you just have to worry about like how far away you are from an object, and so having to throw that in there was a little hard to tackle at first. But once you get a feel for it, like there's a lot of really newbie friendly tools in the options that are all on by default. You can turn off if you need to, like stuff like you can follow a ship by holding right mouse button on it, so you don't have to like manually follow a ship and if you're trying to shoot it down. And
Clicking or holding?
hold.
Okay.
There might be a click toggle in there. Honestly, there's a billion little options like that. It's cool because like they do a really good job of like kind of making this space trucker atmosphere stick with like all the systems are named like after states or other things like you start on the Texas quadrant and you have to jump to Wyoming
Pretty big
early.
quadrant, I bet.
It's one of the biggest, and you don't want to mess with it either. And there's like cops constantly like scanning you for contraband, and if you got contraband, you got to eject it before they get to you. Or there's distress beacons all the time, which kind of have a 50-50 chance of being somebody who's being shot down or somebody
so,
who's
like,
setting up a trap.
Watching you guys play it, like, yeah, there's random kind of encounters out in space, and there's also like a wanted level, and like at some point I was just like, did they just make space Grand Theft Auto? Because like it seems like it's got elements of that for sure.
It does feel similar to Red Dead, where and that more than GTA, just because it's the one I played more recently. But where you're like, okay, here's my mission, here's my objective. I'm gonna fast travel there, and you start to fast travel, but it stops you if you like are near something. It's like, hey, do you want to go investigate this? And you can just like boost past it and ignore it, or you could go off your way and find out like, oh, it's a sabotage and they're it's a bunch of pirates. And then you can like, if you're outclassed, you can like open up your chat log with them, and like there's like a threaten, and there's a like please don't hurt me, and then if you have cargo, there's also an option for C, like just take my shit and let me go and we can call this even. And depending on like your standing with the galaxy, like if you're this huge badass and you threaten them, they're gonna be like, oh shit, we didn't know, we're out, we're out.
you.
But like if you're in like a law-abiding citizen and you'd be like, look, dude, I don't want to fight, they'll be like, okay, you can go this time.
That stuff's cool because like I didn't play every one of those games back in the day, but like the ones I did play, that's not something you got because like the tech just wasn't there to
Right.
let you be in a giant open world. It was load into a mission, do the mission, load back to the menu.
Sure.
Like that's all there was. So like the idea of just getting to kind of fly at will and run into stuff is super exciting.
How many different races are you running into?
A lot.
Yeah,
A lot.
Good.
The first mission dude you contact is this like kind of, trucker hat, big mustache, aviator glasses, normal looking guy. And I'm
Right.
like, okay, this is like mostly people space. But then I went to the bar and challenged this weird cat lady to pool.
Rad. And you're actually playing pool.
Yeah.
though.
Oh, the pool is great.
Yeah.
Also, I want to give it. That's maybe one of the best like mini game pools I've played in a long time.
Really
and it was
cool.
funny watching Will play pool with his HOTAS
Yeah.
because
But it didn't go very well.
it didn't go great. The way you control on mouse and keyboard is like you pull the mouse back and pull it forward, and so he was using his like HOTAS stick to flick the pool stick. It looked very dumb.
Yeah, you said there's like a lot to do in the space stations, right?
Oh, totally. There's different mini games at each of the different stations.
But there's like a casino.
yeah,
There's a casino space station that just looks like a giant roulette wheel.
it's great. There's like slots and dice, poker, and all sorts of. There's like a little asteroids game, like the old video game Asteroids.
One of my favorite things about like Star Control 2 is one of my favorite games of all time. It's just like interacting with different races, kind of learning about them.
Yeah.
So it's good to know that you're going to have some like, interaction with them, and they're not just like, exclamation points, giving you a mission or something like that.
Totally. Yeah, it seems like there's like a space church too that's up to no good. You hear like
Of course, they're up to no good.
I couldn't go throughout this whole thing without mentioning the radio in it is like
Oh yeah.
tremendous.
Yeah.
And
That's another one of those GTA kind of things. Of
Yeah,
there's just a bunch
yeah,
of radio
totally.
stations in this thing.
I
And like
didn't even
mock
know,
ads and shit too.
Yeah, I didn't even know there were multiple stations. It wasn't until Will came in for the quick look that I realized there were multiple. There's like a jazz station.
Yeah.
There's like
Space
there's
Jazz.
like your butt rock station.
Space Butt Rock.
And the fake ads are really
Space
good.
dubstep.
Space dubstep. It's fun, dude. Rebel Galaxy Outlaw. I never took myself as somebody who would play many of these games just because I never got that like taste for it in the 90s or whatever. But I'm glad I've been playing this one. It's if you have like any interest in this, I think it's a really good approachable past your like there's some stupid stuff you have to get past, some kind of stuff you have to teach yourself. But once you do, it's a lot of fun.
All I've ever wanted out of a game is to sit in the cockpit of my own spaceship and play with a bunch of levers and switches and
Yeah.
knobs and stuff. And this seems like it scratches that itch pretty
You
well.
can get a little desk mounted
Bobblehead
like
thing.
Yeah,
bobbleheads
like
and
all
stuff.
the sort of customization and like the attention to detail in the cockpit, because
Yeah.
like it's all tailored to the kind of ship you have. Even like when you look down at a monitor, like all that's framing around it is unique to the ship that you're flying. And yeah, you can
Yeah.
put like a dash ornament
Yeah.
and all kinds of stuff like that.
Brad, I think you mentioned it in the quick look, but it's just really nice to have a game like this, in with the modern trappings.
Yes. Yeah, like a friend of mine who was playing it before release was just like, it's cool. It hasn't super grabbed me. It's just kind of like one of those in a modern engine. And I was like, dude,
that
that's all I
sounds-
want. Like, because
sounds great.
that barely exists now. Like just seeing this kind of game
Yeah.
with the modern treatment,
Mhm.
super exciting.
We'll get you to play Free Space 2 at some point. It's only one of the best games of all time. It's a
Okay.
fantastic.
Yeah, I never played any of those. Like people
Free Space
love
2.
that shit.
Free Space 2. I think it has some graphical upgrade mods. It's a little complicated, probably a little complicated to go back to, but it was definitely one of the most impressive games I ever played at the time.
Yeah, I know. Like before Volition just became like the Saints Row studio. A bunch of
They did
people
the
were like,
Punisher
game
when the
too,
fuck?
I
think.
When the fuck are you gonna make another Free Space?
Yeah.
Like, that's what
Wait,
you
that
still-
like that Punisher multiplayer game?
I think they made a Punisher
That
game,
was-
right? Volition? A long
Did any
time?
of you play that game?
No.
It was like a
this
must be like 20 years ago.
PS3
It was-
Punisher
I didn't know-
multiplayer
I didn't
game
know that it
that
was
was like weirdly
multiplayer.
glory.
Yeah, I remember that. I don't
Oh,
remember
wait.
it being multiplayer, but
Because there was like an old kind of just character actiony one,
Sure.
but then there was
Yeah.
like
I
a
think they made the
2013
yeah.
weird.
As far as I know, the Descent and Free Space names are tied up in IP.
Yeah, I think
stuff.
that there's like an interplay or whoever that is.
And I'm sure
got
none of the
the
people who
fingers
made
in
that game
stuff.
are still there. So.
Yeah.
We'll play Free Space 2 on UPF sometime. I've been saying that for
All
like
right.
3 years now.
I want to see it.
Yeah.
Now that
It's
now that I've got a
fantastic.
taste.
I would
Yeah.
check. I would check that out. Yeah, I've never seen those games.
I'll see if I can mod it up.
I've been playing some of Double Fine's Rad,
Yeah.
which is
Oh,
the
Rad.
roguelike. Yeah,
The top-down one?
nice. Yeah. So it's
Okay.
a roguelike. It's like top-down Zelda combat. I think we've talked
Ben
about it on
played
here
a little
before.
bit of that,
Like
right?
I went
Yeah.
to see it a few months ago, and then you played some
Like a
of
preview
a preview build. I feel like that game was getting kind of a tepid response around here, or just generally.
Yeah.
Like maybe people didn't seem super stoked on it. It's like it's Spelunky-esque in that there's like a bajillion like items and mutations and stuff you can run into on any given run, and it's all procedural and like you're kind of unlocking stuff as you go. I feel like it's just. Have you played any of it?
Tiny bit of it.
Okay.
Yeah, it totally was not my thing.
Yeah, that's the thing. I feel like most people react that way without really. I think if the melee combat was faster, I think that it's just basically there's just a pacing to the action that could be sort of tighter and sped up a little more.
Yeah,
that would make it a lot more fun to play.
Is it just the melee attack that you get, or I mean,
no,
it's got to evolve past that.
So like the crux of the game is that you're in an irradiated wasteland, and the more you kill and like explore, the more a rad meter goes up, and every time it fills, you mutate.
Okay,
and
when he said this to me, it just sounded so much like Nuclear Throne.
Yeah. It is very much in that vein.
Okay. I got a tapeworm at some point. That was
Is that the one that shoots out your back?
I don't know. I just said it. You have a tapeworm.
So I looked in the codex basically because like part of the problem I'm having with it is there appear to be, based on the codex, like a ton of these mutations that can happen.
Yeah.
Like dozens maybe. But there seem to be like 3 or 4 unlocked at the beginning of the game, and it's the kind of game where like, you know, the more you play, the more things get added to the pool, and the more diverse your runs get after that. But like early on, like in the first like 3 runs, I'm already seeing repeats of the stuff I already had.
It just doesn't have like I think that it could be cool once you have all that stuff unlocked, and there's like multiple weapons, but from what I can tell, they don't really have a huge it's a very minor stat. I only ever unlocked one different.
Oh, really?
one.
I haven't gotten another melee weapon yet.
Yeah, but like from what I could tell, is it just like maybe like I healed after a kill a little bit or something, like, but it didn't change. It was the same like 3-hit, you know, wop, wop, wop combo you can do.
Yes, if there are like more powerful or faster melee weapons in there, that's going to help a lot.
Yeah,
for sure. But
they made such a big deal about that being like the one weapon that's going to like go back to the beginning. Like once you die, that weapon goes back to, you know, your successor or whatever.
Oh.
So
weird.
I think part of that is a way to describe the ability on that default weapon is that if you fall in a pit, you'll come back up, and like, it just sort of returns you to your.
I really didn't like that there's fall, like you can fall in this game, because sometimes the perspective would be just a little off on a jump or something. I don't know. I found myself falling a lot, and
I missed a few jumps. Like it was kind of because there are a lot of pits you have to jump over to. It's weird because it's like a Zelda game with a jump, but
and it's not super pleasant to look at.
I think it's fine. I think
I was watching Ben play it. It's just something.
It might be a little better looking than it was
a few months ago. Yeah,
I don't have any problem with that, but all that said, like it's kind of growing on me a little bit. Like I'm finally in the middle of like my first real run.
Some sort of weird growth.
Well, definitely. I mean, definitely got like 3 weird growths coming out of me now.
Roguelikes take a long time.
Spelunky
took me hours to get into.
So like I think it kind of makes a bad first impression because it's super unforgiving. You have 3 hearts and like basically 3 or 4 hits and you're dead on your first couple runs. And combined with like how slow the melee is and how all the enemies take a bunch of hits, it's super easy to just die very quickly. Okay. But once I got all that stuff dialed in, I'm basically in the second actual world now. Like I beat the whole first world.
Okay.
So I'm in the first like new kind of tile set.
Those bosses are hard.
Yeah, well, so they are. But I got to one last night called the Maxitor, which is just a giant minotaur. But I've gotten 3 separate mutations now combined on my first run.
Okay.
And again, granted, it's kind of like basically the only 3 I have right now. But it's what is it? So I've got the dude growing out of my back that shoots behind you.
Yeah.
Or you can pull him off. You can pull this giant tumor off and plop it down.
Right.
And it turns into a turret.
Yeah.
And also like a distraction for the enemies. My head mutated into a flaming skull, and now I can rip the head off and throw it at people, and it's like a grenade, and then it'll grow back after a couple seconds.
Okay.
And then the third one I got is you can hold the trigger and lay down a snail trail of radioactive goo.
Oh, right, yeah.
Gross.
So it started getting kind of cool because I immediately, even with just a limited toolkit, have started finding ways to combo these things. Like when you plop the turret dude down, he becomes a distraction, and they'll tend to go for him instead of you. So I could plop the turret down and then immediately lay down a bunch of goo around him, and then they would take a bunch of damage
on their way to get
coming at him.
Yeah.
So I fought that Minotaur, and like when I went to the preview event a while back, like I got worked by the first boss. Like they're not easy bosses, but I feel like this Minotaur boss took like over half of the damage that I dealt while he was like off screen.
Oh yeah.
Because I was dropping all this shit, and it was like all of a sudden it started feeling like, okay, like there's some strategy, there's some like improvisation to this.
Yeah.
Where I'm mixing these abilities together, and like it became really effective. So
It's like Binding of Isaac had that too, where you
Yeah.
found like the specific little
Yeah.
combo, but totally by random.
Yeah.
You'd be able to shoot across the entire screen with one button press at all angles and everything like that.
So I was going up a level even on the runs where I was dying on like literally the first like board, like the 1-1.
what do levels do for you?
It unlocks stuff. Like
Okay.
so there are a bunch of items like single use items that drop, and also the mutations. There's active and passive ones. So even I haven't died on this good run yet, but even on those crappy runs, like I was unlocking like 1 or 2 things per death.
Yeah, what are you carrying over from run to run?
It's mostly that stuff that adds to the pool. So
Okay.
like they'll unlock new mutations, new items that can drop from
gotcha.
enemies and stuff
All
like that. So I'm curious to see when I die with like this, now that I've actually made some progress, like how much stuff comes out of that first really good run. Because if you get, like I said, looking at the list, there's like, I don't know, like 3 dozen mutations or something at least.
Yeah.
Maybe way more. Like, I don't know if it's almost just like they need to speed up the unlock speed to get more of those in the
Speed up
pool
a lot of
faster.
things, I think.
Yeah.
It's such a weird problem, but I mentioned this during our quick look for Soul Seraph. Was that Soul Seraph?
Yeah.
That is kind of the Dead Cells effect, where if I had played this game in a world where I haven't played Dead Cells, I could imagine thinking it's a lot cooler. But like,
Sure.
you mentioned like, you know, there's not good onboarding. Like, to me, Dead Cells is a game that literally the first time I played it, I was just like, oh, I get it. Like,
Yeah.
oh my God, this feels right. I can see myself playing this for 100 hours, unlocking everything. But like, this feels a lot. Not only does it feel slower, it feels more basic to me. It feels like Nuclear Throne. Like my problem with Nuclear Throne was like it. As a game, it felt good. Like I could play it. It was fun. It was the only game I ever played on my Vita
Nice.
before I lost it. It was just like there's other games that do this sort of stuff in a more interesting way.
Yeah, or in a way that grabs you faster.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's kind of got the Double Fine charm, so that's part
Yeah.
of the reason I'm still playing it. But the
Like
more
the
I play
mutators are
it,
fun. That's
yeah.
the best stuff in that game. Is like
Yeah.
how weird they can get with that stuff.
Yeah.
And
You pause the game and it's like the narrator says pause.
that shouldn't work, but I find it really like
it is kind of
part of it is the
charming, yeah.
narrator has just like this really like succulent voice, like this really rich,
yeah.
booming voice. Every time anything happens in the game with a menu, he just says it. He's just like loading and pause and like. But they recorded so many takes
Yeah.
that it ends up being funny, even though it shouldn't.
Enough nuance to it. Yeah.
I'm hopeful about it. I'm gonna keep playing and try to get some more stuff unlocked and like see if it opens up.
Is it early access?
No, it's out.
It's out
soon.
now.
So it's out. The actual date escapes me. But the last thing I was gonna say is I don't think this was in the preview build that we had. That there's a hub town between runs. Was any of that stuff in there?
Yeah.
Was that in there?
It had like it was sectioned off. There was
Okay.
a few people, like 2 people you could talk to.
Okay, yeah. In the full game, it's just all open, and there's a bunch of machines you can feed currency into. There's a dude with a little farm.
Yeah, there's like a banking system, right?
Yeah,
Where,
something like that.
If you deposit enough money, you'll be able to start withdrawing it on
Yeah.
runs. So like if you have a run where you're making a lot of money, you can like send it back for
right.
another run.
Yeah, and, there's a dude with a little plot of land, and he wants you to bring him either like seeds or fertilizer or something. So
Yeah.
there's some farming component to it. Like there is a hub to dump stuff into between runs to unlock a bunch of stuff. So like.
The Rogue Legacy kind of thing.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I'm hopeful the game just doesn't show enough of its cards up front, and that maybe the more you play it, the more interesting it'll get.
Just a matter of getting over the hump, finding out.
Yeah, it is a slow start.
Roguelikes are really tough.
I don't know that the combat like pops as much as it should right off the bat, but I'm gonna keep plugging at it.
I hate to be that asshole, but do you know if it's coming to Switch?
I could find out.
Because this seems like an ideal Switch game
Definitely
to me.
talk amongst yourselves.
I think official release is August 20th.
Okay,
So
Rad.
next Tuesday.
yeah.
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 I don't think it's on Switch.
Yeah, I was playing on Steam.
Yeah, it's definitely Steam, PS4, and Xbox.
Xbox I was playing on.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's in there, like on a whiteboard
Roadmap.
somewhere.
Yeah, I can see it. It is on Switch.
Oh, great.
Oh.
there we go.
According to this, I hope, I
It
assume
changes everything.
that's what this announcement story says.
Well, wonderful.
Take your tapeworms to go.
Yes.
I don't know what
Please.
the tapeworm did. They told me, and I was just grossed out.
It helps you lose weight.
Oh, it's like every health thing I got, it took half of it or something. I don't know what the tapeworms do. Gross.
They feed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eat.
They love eating.
Grody.
What else y'all been playing? You got any other?
Final
Yeah.
Fantasy. But
I'm
sure you guys.
deep in something that I can't talk about.
All right.
Yeah, same.
I'm sure you guys talked about Final Fantasy a bunch last week, so I won't go too far into it. I got my first flying mount.
Nice.
Yeah.
What is it?
Black Chocobo.
The
It's
fat-
the
Yeah.
default
It's not the
that
fat
they
one,
give.
Wait,
is
is
it?
that
No,
is that
it's
the
not.
Oh,
bonus?
that would be awesome.
No, it's the
Is that
default one they
is that
give
the
you.
bonus one? Yeah, everybody.
They just give it to you as part of your main story quest.
Oh, okay.
So, and then you have to find. It's really weird. You don't unlock. You have to unlock flying or pay for it. Like, wow, you just have to find these aether currents that are kind of hidden around. Like, you have a compass pinging locations to try to find them. There are a bunch of them too, and you can't fly in a zone until you find all those aether currents. So I'm kind of going back and trying to find some of those for that places I'm at in Heaven's Ward. But yeah, I know you guys talked about it much last week, so I won't go too far into it. It's a really cool game.
How many hours are we talking about that it took you to get to
Fuck
a
me.
flying mount status?
So you think we're going to talk about this in the news. Maybe we'll talk about it more there.
Yeah, I'll
But,
just pull that story up now since
right.
we're talking about the game.
Final Fantasy announced that they're going to condense a large portion of the game after you beat a Realm Reborn.
So that
before you-
basically is the story.
Yeah, sorry.
No, it's fine. It's just that they themselves did not give any details about what that means.
Yeah.
It was on a Japanese language live stream with the developers.
And they also announced like New Game Plus. And
Um,
I don't mean to belabor the point. I think I've talked about it a lot the
New
last
Game
couple weeks.
Plus
But
with
I
MMOs.
don't know. They didn't detail it at all.
That's the thing.
I think you're going to be able to go back and do the main story quest again.
But so
without having to start a new character.
basically, the situation is what you finish the main story content in the base game, and then before you can do the first expansion, there's like what 100
100
like
quests.
100
even.
like grindy quests you have to do.
And they're not.
How many have you done?
I did them all.
Wait, you finished
You
it?
had to do them all. You have to do them all to get the main story quest to
man.
go
How
through.
much?
It took me at least 2 weeks.
No, I
wanna
mean,
say.
how much were you bummed out when you heard the news that they're going to come out?
Yeah.
I bookmarked the goddamn the website that had all listed. I kept on checking where I was, and I'm like, I'm 25% through. I'm 50% through.
Did it feel like padding?
It was a slog. It was a huge slog.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because
It was-
like before any expansions were out, you could see it just being them being like,
it was important.
we need post game content. Let's just
Yeah.
like cram something in there.
It was important story stuff to get through because it involves a lot of politics and like talking with the realms, and it sets up why you have to leave and go somewhere else. But it was just an incredible slog. Some of the quests were really fun, and a lot of them were just like find 5 people in each of the major cities, and they're hiding behind. I'm definitely told that one before because that one really pissed me off.
Just like find them, talk to them, and tick off a box.
But yeah, now I'm in the Heaven Sword stuff, and it's much better. But yeah, they say they're going to condense all those 100 quests into something a little more condensed. They don't have a timeline for any of this, and it doesn't really help me now because I already got through it all. But
How'd that feel though? Like,
it felt when I actually got to the end, it was a pretty good payoff for not. It wasn't a good enough payoff to play like 3 weeks of,
Right.
of fetch quests to get to the story stuff. But it was really much they put up this whole thing like in the chat box like, this is a long cutscene coming up. You might want to take a little time because you can't pause them.
I
But
heard it
they
was just under an hour.
What?
The big one.
For a cutscene?
Yeah.
They do long. They got longer and more voiced as the ARR stuff went along.
Is
so.
it worth it?
Yeah, they're
Are
pretty
they
good.
entertaining?
That one is anime as shit. The one I'm talking about.
Okay.
People probably know what I'm talking about, but if you've played it, it's
Give me an example. What is so anime about it?
dudes getting arms chopped off. People glowing red and being supercharged. Big fight scenes. A bunch of people. I don't go too much into the spoil.
Anybody's hair turn yellow?
It was just a lot of dramatic fights and dramatic escapes from people who are bad, and it was pretty good. Because a lot of it,
I like how anime as fuck now just means has action.
people glowed.
Okay.
A lot of explosions.
All right.
The problem that I do have with the game is that a lot of the cutscenes are just people talking, like a lot of exposition. You can click through those pretty quick, but you can't skip to the next like cut of the cutscene. Like in Mass Effect, you'd have some like walking around. You can't really skip that kind of stuff. And that's been my big frustration. I can read really quick and I can clip through them, but a lot of it is a lot of talking, as opposed to something like Final Fantasy 12 or 10. Well, 12 is a bad example because I had a lot of talking too, but it's a great game. I like it a lot. I haven't played WoW in months. Just been focusing all my time in this.
Did you cancel WoW?
I'm not.
You're still paying for it?
I probably should. My
Probably
6 months ticked over.
This is like the classic
3 months.
WoW thing of
Yeah.
not play it
Yeah.
for months but continue paying for it.
I probably will. I mean, Classic is about to come out. I should probably keep my subscription up for that, and we'll take a look at that later.
Have
how
they
they got
said?
you.
Have they said? Is that how it's going to work? Just the same one?
it's Classic
one
WoW is
subscription
one
for
subscription
everybody?
for both.
Huh.
They did name reservations the other day.
So.
Yeah, I saw
I think
that.
it's coming out in a week or two, August 22nd or something like that.
Oh.
I forget. I have not been.
It's soon.
The people who are excited for that game are fucking
You
excited.
think? I was just about to say. I feel like the enthusiasm for classic has kind of gone off a cliff.
I stay involved in the
Maybe
WoW community.
maybe it's the communities that I'm looking at.
They've been
that-
doing great. pump up stuff. Like the WoW Classic team on their like big blog posts and everything are really good about making people excited. WoW, but it doesn't hurt that Battle for Azeroth is the worst expansion I've ever played. So I think people, a lot of us are just excited to see something new, and we'll see how it turns out.
I just strongly question if people want WoW Classic or if they want the feeling that they had playing WoW in 2004.
The funniest thing
which,
is,
to be clear, you cannot have again.
Yeah.
Is this going to be classic with the updated visuals and everything?
No. It's
wow.
2006 level.
Wow.
They already said it's patched like 1.12.
Man,
so no updated models.
I would have taken the new graphics even with the old.
Yeah.
That was always going to be the big thing for them to make a decision. Like, do you have where do you bound it off, and how strict are you going to be about like not letting people mod stuff? The funniest thing to do is go back and look at the not a bug list for WoW Classic, because they have all these things that people are used to.
Yes.
Because like hunters can't attack people who are too close to them. Like you can do that now. You can just use your arrow on anybody. But back in the day, it was like 5 yards. You had to be up 5 yards away.
That's
and
great.
Like a lot of people are going back.
People
like,
playing it for the first time. Like I imagine people coming to years after.
They're keeping
fact.
bugs. They're keeping actual bugs that were there at the time.
That's
like,
great.
I think it was around the time that the not a bug list came out that I saw people starting to go like, maybe we don't want this.
Yeah, the people who are really into that game are really looking forward to it. I've definitely a lot of chatter. And now the funniest thing is that WoW Classic and WoW, I don't know, Current, or the two like fan bases start to fight each other. Like,
Nice.
Good luck with your real money shop, dude. Like, good luck with your old graphics, dude. Like, go to the MMO Champion forums if you want to see some wonderful.
I don't.
I don't know.
I'm good.
What's up with Wowhead these days? Is that still around?
That's still around. That got bought by a bigger company. I forget who it was. Was it
Curse?
Curse or Twitch?
Curse.
I want to say
sounds
they're still around. They're still a good source.
I distinctly remember when Wowhead came on the scene. And
Wowpedia.
What was the one before that?
Wowpedia, I want to
There
say.
was something else.
There was an add-on to Go. I know the one you're talking about, but I forget what it was. Man, the game's been around so long.
So many wasted hours.
Yeah. Hey,
Speaking of wasted hours, I want to formally request a Dota minute.
Okay.
All right.
Apparently the international is.
I got 60 seconds on the clock
What,
already.
this week?
Go. International starts tomorrow,
What?
Brad. And all the Dota boys, girls, and people out there are really sad in America because it's taking place in Shanghai, which means it starts. East Coast starts 10 p.m. every night.
Ooh,
That's gonna be rough.
That's
Which it sucks,
painful.
but I it's hard to watch it all live anyway. So we'll see. We'll just watch VODs.
so
and
instead
stuff.
of being at work when it's on, you're asleep when it's on.
Yeah, exactly. But then the other cool thing is they seem to be getting serious about making matchmaking a lot better, which is something they've been talking about for a long time. They added role queue searching.
I can't believe that's never been in before.
Yeah,
Like, that's-
League added it a couple years ago. Overwatch is also adding it this week, I think, or next week.
I kind of thought everybody had it.
Right, it
At
just
this point.
seems like
It's
a
like
natural
the most
thing.
common sense feature in a game about team composition.
Yeah, and they're also dealing with Smurfs and stuff in a really cool way. It's just a lot. It's a way better
Stepping
time
on
to
them.
play Dota than it's ever been, and that's my minute.
you should give me a minute when I start talking about WoW, because I can tell I talk about it too much sometimes.
Make the air horns a little louder next time.
There you go. Copy that.
Uh,
Magic Arena. Also been playing a bunch of that.
Whoa.
That game's great.
Yeah.
That's my summation. I've
Rest
talked
of
about the game a bunch.
it's the card game.
Yeah. We'll probably talk about it a little more with some of the news coming up, so I'll save it for that.
Huh. Okay. All right.
Interesting.
Man, that Dota. Anybody still playing Underlords here?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So do you feel
They-
any temptation to check out the real thing?
No, I'm
Okay.
trying to start digging myself up in a way,
Out?
climb out of these
Away.
holes.
That's probably
You should,
sensible.
you should just check out maybe a
It's
couple
the
matches of
sensible
the
path.
international.
I mean, like I got really into League, and then
Ooh.
Oh shit! If you've got the basis for,
I know, and I don't want to translate anything over.
I'm going to tell you every single person I know, and it's a lot, who started with League and went to Dota,
That's me.
said they would never go back.
That's me.
Like everybody I know, and then I'm talking like a dozen people. Were like, hey, I got in with League, and then when I switched, I will never go back.
I
need to
watched
start
the-
sleeping at night, Brad.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
I watched the last year's TI documentary. You know how they do like a documentary following the winning team every year? They're incredible. I can't recommend those enough. They're called True Sight. Check them out if you like esports documentaries at all. But it's really cool because they're in there in the booth with the teams, like just hearing everything they say and
Yeah.
stuff, and they're doing commentary over
Yeah,
it.
and those things often you'll get a lot of like just good personal stories.
Oh, yeah.
from people like especially people coming from like disadvantaged backgrounds and stuff.
Like
Like some good just journeys that some of these players have been on.
Last year, the big one was the mid player for the team who won had never been on a pro team 2 months before the international. He had won like $167 in his Dota career from like a pickup tournament. You know, just like me and my like we're playing at a LAN cafe in our hometown or whatever. And their player left, and he was just a pub star that they picked up. And then 2 months later, he won $1.5 million.
By himself or like with the whole team?
Yeah.
Wow. That's a lot.
The prize pool this year is 17 mil, I think, which means like people get 1.8 mil each.
How do they do like analytics for pro esports players like that? Do they track like APMs and like, you know, are they?
They're tracking more stuff like you know, they're really good about tracking it because you can build a fantasy team now within Dota. You get like cards and they have
kills and
stats
losses
like
and stuff.
kills and wards dewarded and stuns and stuff like
and like
that.
just
That's
like
interesting.
net worth and stuff like that. Like
Yeah.
Dota is a good game for pulling actual stats and not like APM is something you can so easily just spam.
Yeah.
I just want to see like
And then play.
sabermetrics for Dota or something like that.
They
You know,
all this
that
stuff,
stuff-
like whenever between games and they need to fill time, they always have like these cool interactive graphs.
Yeah, that stuff has been
People
built
stand
into
in
the game
front
client for a long time. Like some really nice displays that show all that stuff off. Man, hearing all these like really just basic common sense improvements to the matchmaking and stuff. No,
yes.
no.
I'll play if we all play.
Like that's
I will
I know somebody who recently got back in.
oh
Maybe a future guest.
yes, I gave that person a hard time about it purely because I saw this person randomly in a voice channel on one of the Discord servers I'm on that I almost never look at, and he was in there with 4 other people. That's all I saw.
You know what they was
and I
doing. You knew what they
immediately
were
knew
doing.
what was happening.
Yeah, we played
And you
together
didn't
a
step
little bit.
in.
No, I just you just got to let it alone.
Yeah.
People have to make their own choices. I've been saying since Underlords came out, if people, the one thing that's really going to get me back in is if people like you, who I know who don't play Dota but play Underlords and get very interested in it, suddenly all want to play enough to like form a team. That might be
Okay,
enough.
Jan can be our dedicated position 4. He's going to be a Tusk main. We know this already.
Yes, I
could
know
see-
it's a walrus.
Jan seems like a good 4.
Yeah.
We could probably fill a community co-op corner with this one time.
Oh, you mean
Oh
a midweek
my
multiplayer
God.
madness?
Get some people in and
Yeah,
and
if someone
fun
is just like acting as commander and just tells me what to do, I'll fill that role totally.
Oh, we can get a coach. That's not a
Oh,
problem.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Oh,
that'd be
that'd
fun.
Oh man. All right, we should stop.
I mean, Dota
Yeah.
runs on everything,
Nothing
right?
to do
Oh,
with
yeah.
this.
Oh, yeah.
We could.
No, let's not.
Let's talk after this.
Okay.
Well, let's
I
not.
put it on the
my God.
whiteboard.
Oh, we shouldn't.
No, you shouldn't.
We shouldn't.
Should.
We have to stop talking about this. Let's take a break.
Hey, support for today's show is coming to you in part from new Starbucks Triple Shot Energy.
Triple?
Triple!
3?
3!
That triple.
The tray.
Huh.
That's right.
3 and 1.
Yes, it is literally 3 a triple shot in one can.
Is that legal?
Oh, it's better than legal.
Oh. What's
It's-
better than legal?
It's incredibly legal and incredibly terrific. Starbucks Triple Shot Energy has 225 milligrams of caffeine.
What? How much? Say that sounds like an illegal number.
It is not. I assure you, it is just 225 milligrams of caffeine from Starbucks coffee, a hint of flavor, and it's enhanced with guarana, B vitamins, and ginseng to give you the energy to do what matters to you.
Give you that pep,
Yeah.
that zing.
little zip,
Yeah.
little zingo. You know what I mean?
Make your eyes just fly wide open.
That's right. Get ready to seize the day or the night. And it's
Or
available.
both.
Yeah, or both at the same time. Why not?
How about several of each in a
Yes.
row?
No, well, that's not. Look,
Oh,
it's
okay.
it's a triple shot energy.
Okay, we did say legal.
Yes. It's available in 3 delicious flavors, including French vanilla, cafe mocha, and caramel. Yeah,
Caramel's good.
yeah. And you know, look, sometimes you get through most of the day, and you're a little drooping, you're a little falling a little flat.
You hit that siesta time.
Exactly. You
What a
hit,
nap.
You hit that wall. Break the walls down, as they say.
Okay. Right through there.
Yeah, bust through a little triple shot energy. Yeah, from Starbucks. You can find it at your local grocery or convenience store. How about that?
I think there's one of those right across the street.
Exactly.
News, I have some. Who wants it?
Oh, I need it.
Don't.
Let me
I
just look.
need
Oh
it.
God!
Give it to me.
Everybody file an orderly line.
Can we do video game news?
No.
I will distribute one piece of news each.
Mine.
You can't have all the news.
Jason, you can't.
I know what a news hound you are.
I am.
What would you say Jason's odds of getting all the news are?
Oh, I don't know.
It'd be factorial of like a 25% chance.
I want to know. I want to know up front.
What? Yeah, we're gonna
What
have to.
I'm getting into.
I guess we're gonna have to disclose those.
Factorial?
I'm sorry.
Factorio. It's a video game.
Tell me everything you know about math.
Math. Got math.
It
on my
adds
arm.
up.
It's on my body.
What do you? What?
It's Euler's identity.
Amphetamine.
Jeez. All right.
That's the usual reaction my jokes get. Thank you.
Hey.
Feels good.
Not bad.
Okay. On that note, so loot boxes.
You love
Yeah.
them.
Yeah, everybody's favorite.
Mm-hmm.
There's some stuff happening around that stuff. Pretty much all came out of the basically like a workshop that was held by the Federal Trade Commission, which is part of the federal government.
That sounds so fun.
Yeah. Where the ESA kind of made an announcement on behalf of Microsoft, Nintendo, and Sony that all of them are essentially going to follow in the footsteps of like what China has required and other companies in America have been kind of voluntarily complying with already, which is to require any loot boxes in games on their platforms to disclose like the probability and odds of what you're going to get out of them.
I'm down with this. Yeah,
So-
it's kind of like heading things off at the pass. Like,
Yes.
Kind of, yeah.
Voluntarily.
How
Kind of
specific
voluntarily.
is this regulation? Like, is it just like you have, because in like a, callback, Magic, you know, you have a certain chance.
One goes forward, the other one goes backwards.
Every pack has like a chance for a rare, a chance for a mythic rare, and you get a guaranteed rare. But
It's stuff along those lines. I'll just read the ESA quote
Yeah, if you
real
don't
fast. This is the ESA's Chief Counsel for Tech Policy. I'm pleased to announce this morning that Microsoft, Nintendo, and Sony have indicated to the ESA a commitment to new platform policies with respect to the use of paid loot boxes in games that are developed for their platforms. Specifically, this would apply to new games and game updates that add loot box features, and it would require the disclosure of the relative rarity or probabilities of obtaining randomized virtual items in games that are available on their platforms.
So I don't know if that means like every item in the game has a percentage drop.
I think it's anything that's randomized, anything that you pay for and is randomized, I believe.
But I mean, I'm going back to like the Magic example. Like, I buy a thing and I have a guaranteed rare or 50% chance of like a mythic rare or something like that, but I don't get per card breakdowns. I guess if they're all the same rarity. I don't know how this affects a game that has like multiple levels.
It's similar to that.
I would guess it's similar to what you've seen already, which is probabilities for rarity tiers, but not specific items.
Okay. That's a lot easier to do, obviously.
The one thing that stands out to me in both the ESA's language and then each of those companies also put out separate statements is that they keep using language along the lines of new games and updates to existing games.
Sure.
Like, it very much makes it sound like they're grandfathering in any games that are already out there in existing form doing business like this, or not going to have to make this change necessarily.
Yeah, Overwatch. you know, Battlefield.
Has Overwatch not done it yet?
Not
they not?
since I've.
They still don't?
Not here.
I thought they did. I don't know.
In some territories, I think so.
Okay. Like, I know obviously Apex did right out of the gate.
As of
but-
like 3 months ago. And
Okay.
maybe not on the screen where you unlock, maybe it's somewhere else. Like that's the other thing. Whenever you hear stories about this and like reference to how China did it, you also hear stories of how game companies got very clever about circumventing these, putting it on a different screen or, like special bonus packs that are not considered. Like I remember reading stuff about like how you get gifts and gifts don't count because it's like a token and a token into another thing, and just I don't know. It's a good first step for sure.
It's better than nothing.
Yeah.
Like, it's definitely good evidence that dangling the threat of regulation is a good way to spur some kind of action.
So insane that this is all because of fucking Star Wars Battlefield 2. That's not the only game that did it, but that was the one.
It's definitely the flashpoint.
Yeah.
So let's see. They say the three platform holders are setting a deadline of sometime next year for this stuff to be in effect.
Sure. Do you think people are more mad about Battlefront 2 or Shadow of War?
I wonder. Well, I'm sorry. I was just gonna say real quick. I wonder in the case of Sony and Microsoft if the new consoles will be when this starts.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh yeah.
That would make sense.
And then ESA says they also have commitments from Activision Blizzard, Bandai Namco, Bethesda, Bungie, Electronic Arts, Take-Two, Ubisoft, and Warner Brothers. have also agreed to implement similar policy.
Is that before or after this?
By the end of next year.
Okay. That's weird because that's basically everybody.
That's most all of the big well, there's also your
Well, the consoles are the most important one because that's really, that everybody who publishes on them are going to have to do that too. So that's neat. But I kind of
some of those companies sell their own games on their own storefronts,
True.
like on PC, like you play and stuff.
Oh, Blizzard Activision definitely is the biggest one I saw in there. So
yeah.
I was looking at the financials for Activision. Apparently, King is still making more money than either Activision or Blizzard. They're just raking in, and they'll be. I don't know if they do. That's more free to play with a bunch of like upsell
Candy
stuff.
Crush.
I don't know if that'll affect them too. I guess it wouldn't affect an older game like that, but like
Yeah,
they are fucking. They're making, I think like 50% more money than Blizzard does every quarter, or maybe double or something like that. It's insane.
A lot of phones out there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a big acquisition at the time. It looked crazy, but
Yeah.
apparently making money.
Yeah.
Well, again, though my thing, I can't remember. I remember Shadow of War being the biggest, first huge blow up over boxes and stuff.
Shadow of War was a big deal because it was like the early reports were you need to buy stuff to beat the game.
Yeah,
like,
that turned out to be a little overblown.
Yeah.
But I think Shadow of War really primed the environment for outrage.
Yes.
And then Battlefront 2 swooped in like just at the right time when everybody was already like
I'd be really curious if like, you know, the whole math there, it's like the old recall math and Fight Club, but like is it worth putting out those loot boxes for 4 months and then taking them out after the outrage is already over and get whatever money you have there versus like weakening your brand or whatever.
Well,
like
if you
that.
remember, the Battlefront 2 was such a boondoggle that they took him out the day before release.
Yeah,
like
man,
that business
wow.
model never made it to market because people were so
I
mad.
forget that whole timeline. That was insane.
It was messed up. This is not nothing.
Yeah.
Like it's not.
But it's very much a please don't legislate us.
Yeah,
Please don't make
it's-
real laws. We got this. We can do it. We
Yeah.
can do the least amount of work and still be okay.
Yes. This is let's expose numbers that were already there under the hood.
Yeah.
That's something, but it's not actually.
Casinos have to do that, right? Like
Yeah.
slot machines have to tell you their payout odds and
I
everything.
believe
And
so, but they're not always like on the. I don't know.
you can like request it for any machine or something, I think.
Just call over the pit boss. Yeah, I'll get right back to you. buddy.
I want to know about these nickel Wizard of Oz slots.
We'll have to do it for the lottery. I mean, if
Yeah.
you buy scratchers, that has the odds on the back of like what your odds are, and it's always really good for me. Fantastic. I have a system.
Might as well say 100%.
Another interesting story that came out of this FTC workshop is from. Basically, they were talking to kind of some like YouTube and Twitch types and their representatives, including Omid Dariani, who is the CEO of Online Performers Group,
Yeah.
which I gather is kind of a talent agency for streamers,
Yeah.
which I didn't know existed. But here we are. He basically implied that... So he was asked by a rep from the FTC how publishers handle like paying streamers to open loot boxes on streams and like kind of like what is
I'm
that
sure that happens.
what is the business arrangement like in the background for this kind of promoted activity online. The question was, based on your expertise, do video game publishers pay these content creators to open loot boxes? Do they pay for the loot boxes, and if so, do they at times give them better odds than the public at large, and how much of that is disclosed?
That would be some shit.
So his answer was companies do pay for that sort of thing. It's pretty uncommon for it to be specifically be, hey, just open a bunch of loot boxes, but we've definitely seen that. I've definitely been in a room where a publisher said we could do better odds on the packs that this person opens for promotional purposes.
Gross.
Wow.
That's only been one time.
Okay.
Still,
Still.
probably never
Gross.
implemented, but still, that's ridiculous.
That's pretty fucked up.
Predatory.
Yeah.
First hits for free, man. Always how they get you.
Yep. So
Oh.
yeah, that's floating around out there too. But
I mean, it's like those like the unboxing craze
Yeah.
that was blown up on
Still,
YouTube.
still around. Till,
Yeah, where it was just like people would own these, surprise box things where it's like you could get earbuds and oh my god, I got earbuds, and you find out like the guy doing the video owns the company.
Yeah. The worst thing about that is the lack of disclosure, whether for ads. Like,
Yes.
it's still awkward to say hashtag ad, but a lot of, from what I recall a few years ago, that was not always the case of people actually being straight up like this is a paid product placement. And
Yeah.
like, hey, you found this new game.
well, there was that big blow up with it was Warner Brothers, and it might have been Shadow of War, or was it Shadow of Mordor?
I'm not sure. That was before.
Might have been Shadow of Mordor. There was a situation where like people were not disclosing that their streams were sponsored and stuff. So
Oh yeah.
a Last story on the loot box front.
You can trust Giant Bomb though.
That's right.
We disclose everything. We disclose a little too
I
much if you
probably
watch
did.
certain
Yeah.
streams.
I did work for Obsidian.
Also, zero randomness on this website.
Right.
It's all scripted.
I did beta test BioShock 2. I have to say that once.
Did you?
Yeah.
Huh.
The multiplayer.
Rocket League.
Yeah.
Is dispensing with loot crates completely.
Yes.
Yeah.
Those things are gross.
Later
Oh
this
my God.
year, they are removing all random loot box drop type stuff and just moving to a model where you pay for the item you want.
That's exactly what I want.
That's interesting.
That's absolutely fine.
They didn't give a ton more details than that, but this did
Or
work.
just like slowly unlocking this stuff like in a trickle, like as opposed to how it is now.
What do you want to unlock? Is it all graphical stuff still?
Yeah, it's all
cosmetics.
just
Car models and
cosmetic
stuff.
stuff. But
I've always just stuck with the plain Jane like starter car in that game, just because everything else is so crazy now. It feels like
I
everybody's
love the
rocket
craziness.
ships and
Like
even the default.
between matches, we actually just randomize everything.
Oh,
It's
really?
great. Yeah, we get the.
Is that a
most
setting?
ridiculous-
Just like every
Yeah.
match, give me a random combo of whatever I've got.
Well, you've got to go into your like
you'd have
editor
to.
and hit the randomize button, but it's just a few clicks.
You still
So,
playing a lot of that?
every once in a while? Yeah.
What platform do you main?
Xbox.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because this story was a reminder. I don't even know if we talked about it on the podcast when it happened. The Epic owns Psyonix now.
Yes.
I'd totally forgotten about that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Um,
moving that game off of Steam and onto the EGS.
right. So that's why I was asking. I was wondering if
One
you
of
played
those.
on PC, but has that move happened yet?
I don't believe.
No.
I don't think so. I don't know for sure.
I don't know.
I
I mostly play on PS4.
Also, they point out, like Psyonix themselves point out in this little blog post that Fortnite made a similar move
Did it?
at some point
Cool.
earlier this year.
How does Fortnite work now? You just buy items straight up?
I should say the Fortnite Save the World team made a similar move.
Gotcha.
So,
it's
that
'cause-
other mode in Fortnite.
That other mode
Oh.
has a battle pass.
But yeah, I wonder if that is just sort of like, to some extent, an Epic policy.
Yeah. Or maybe that's something they've wanted to do for a while, and now that they've got a little more funding and stuff, they can be a little more choosy in how they do their business.
I have a feeling a lot of people who still play Rocket League are the diehards. Like it's been,
Yeah.
3 years now?
It's people who
It's
want
a
to
fantastic game. I
fill in
love
their
it. It's
collection. You know,
Yeah.
it's people who are like, I have like 6 items left that I really want or something,
Mm-hmm.
and just like I'm willing to pay the $9 or however much it is to get them.
I assume they're still adding items pretty regularly.
Yeah.
Are they pretty in
pretty
your face
ridiculous.
about it? Like, hey, here's this new stuff you can buy.
Totally. Yeah. There's like a summer, thing going on right now, but they've got like license, like they've got the Ecto one in there.
Yeah,
now.
I saw that.
Pretty
put
crazy
in.
stuff. Yeah. So it's not just, cars, it's the toppers and all kinds of goofy shit.
That game's cool.
But it's a regular trickle.
One more story about the ESA.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about
It's a good one, hopefully. I hope.
Yeah, Brad, better
Yeah.
be good.
We talked about the absurd leak of personal data of press members and other people registered for media badges last week.
Yeah.
They leaked the entire press list from E3 2019 onto the internet through sheer professional malpractice.
They didn't leak it. They just put it up for
Well,
download. I mean,
yeah,
it's
I
hardly
shouldn't
even
even
call it a
leak is even-
leak.
yeah.
It's just straight there.
I think I'd have to double check. I want to say they used the word vulnerability in there.
Ah,
yeah,
It's like
that's
the
not.
the vulnerability is that you left your front door standing
We
wide
got
open.
hacked by a link.
I got broken into. I mean, yeah, I was not in my house and the door was wide open, but
I'm trying to remember. I think it had come to light by the time we recorded last week that the 2004 and 2006 lists had also gotten out. I think we talked about that.
yeah, it had just been breaking. I
Yeah.
think.
So, and those are old lists. I mean, it's not great, but at least
which list?
2004 and 6.
God damn it.
Jokes
Both
on them.
those.
Nobody around here can afford to live in the same space for more than 2 years
Right.
at a time.
So yeah, hopefully at least in those cases, a lot of that information is out of date now.
But they have email addresses too, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That's the more kind of crazy thing because those lists are very valuable. Like you
yeah.
definitely sell it to.
That's why they.
Yeah.
My
why they do
understanding is that's
E3.
exactly why these are collated into lists in the first place.
Yeah.
Is because they distribute them to people who pay for them.
pay a lot of money probably, which is the ultimate like.
Well, they give the media list to exhibitors at E3
Yeah, that's
for
what I'm
free
saying,
because
yeah.
they're trying to put them.
It's
in
like
touch
PAX. If I've signed up for PAX for
Yes,
the media
I-
badge before,
I-
and you
I
get a lot of email.
Made a point to never sign up at PAX for media because for that exact reason.
yeah.
Never again.
Anyway, it has since come to light. Game Daily has been in touch with two different people who have both confirmed that the 2018 media list at E3 has been widely available
Sure.
since at least August of last year.
Oh,
Sure.
So that's
Why
like
not?
it's like a year.
2 months after last year's show is when it was first discovered. And they have been provided evidence that the ESA was alerted to the existence of that file
I'm sure.
at the time,
Yeah.
and yet confirmed that as of like 2 months ago, it was still there.
God
And
damn
yet
it.
confirmed that like we're not even going to A, we're not going to remove it. B, we're not going to make sure it doesn't happen again for 2019.
Right.
See, they didn't even respond to the guy who,
Yes,
the guy or lady
yes.
who sent
Yes.
them the email.
One
and it
of
was
one
just
of the people one of the people provided evidence that they had emailed
Yeah.
the ESA about this exact thing about a year ago. Got no response, and the file remained available until very recently.
Super cool.
It's gone now, and it doesn't seem like that one got out
As wide.
very widely, if at all.
I mean,
But like, holy shit, man!
That is, it's might
Like-
be a little bit of doom talk, but it might be the end of E3
Like
too. Like
the Game Daily story points out that they sent an email to 2019 attendees
Yeah.
that were affected to let them know last week, which included the line, "For more than 20 years, this has never been an issue."
Fuck off.
Like, holy shit!
Fuck off saying that after you are alerted that it is literally an issue.
Like, wow, man.
Yeah, I've seen people theorizing that the GDPR alone is
Yeah.
going to like
Yeah.
just blow them out of the water.
and that alone, like let alone like next year, if you're like, I mean, we get paid, we're very likely to be paid to fly down there for the week. But if you're like if you're a
if
smaller,
you're a YouTuber,
Yeah,
if
if
you're,
you-
if you run a blog, like
Yeah.
Regardless of your circumstances, like, who's going to want to give them personal
Yeah,
information
exactly.
ever again?
Exactly.
Like, ever.
even if I'm using like a Google Voice number and the fake email, that's still like it's still and a work address. You still have like my employment information because there was stuff like your title and all this
Yeah.
other shit that isn't like damning info to have, but it's stuff you want to keep private.
it's but either the big concern for a lot of people is physical security, but then also there's a shitload of information that could be used to like hack your credit cards and shit. So
Yeah.
it's not super awesome to have all this out there.
Like, I know people who had their stuff leaked as part of this who have gotten stuff in the mail already.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like,
jeez.
it's yeah. Like, how are you ever going to be able to trust that they have actually solved these problems? Like, they can say whatever they want, but don't-
It's a boondoggle in a can. It's one of the worst. I mean, as somebody who's been in the industry a long time, it's one of the worst stories I've ever heard coming out of like
privacy.
privacy. I mean, because it affects us directly. I mean, I've got my Capital One thing was probably gone, and Equifax was definitely in there too. So, but this feels more personal.
But I mean, like,
in a
this
weird way.
is like the industry
Yeah.
representative body. Like,
Yeah.
this is the thing that all of the big companies are affiliated with, the thing that runs the big trade show. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
this is as central an authority as it gets, you know? Like, for them to do this repeatedly, just pathetic.
The consequences are far from known at this point, but
Yeah.
it's going to be a while. But definitely, I think next year is going to be a very
Yeah.
very interesting E3.
Like, well, we'll see. Yeah, like you said, it'll be a while, but definitely
Let's
a lot
have our own E3.
of people talking about legal action and stuff like that. So,
Yeah.
who
Let's
knows?
just do E4.
With E40. He's in the Bay.
Yeah.
Let's get E40 in.
E40 con.
Oh, we did. I think 2 or 3 events. We did one decent one here at Giant Bomb. We had people into the office. I remember that was really fun. But
Yeah.
the big ones we did for GameSpot were well run and well executed, but
boy.
they were just like, man, I don't know if
a lot of
we
work.
need.
We checked out Game, all right.
Yeah, I need
Good
to
God, man.
take a week off after that one.
That was still that was the big thing, the games and music experience at
Yeah.
Moscone that we did.
God,
Like,
people walking in with
the-
like box cutters
The-
to
was
steal
it
shit.
was it the weekend that the 360 came out, or like the week after?
It was definitely that. I think that was the one on the Embarcadero because we had the
I'm
360
pretty sure
dev
that was
kits.
Game.
Okay, well I know we had 360 dev kits for the one on the Embarcadero because that was before 360 came out.
Basically, we ran a big thing that was supposed to have a bunch of 360 kiosks at it for people who attended to play.
we couldn't find enough 360s.
Like the week the console came out,
No.
they couldn't come close to getting their hands on enough.
yeah,
So they basically were buying out everybody at GameSpot who
And
had
they were-
pre-ordered their
yeah.
own personal console.
yeah. They were asking people to like
They were
loan,
like-
loan them and everything like that.
Or I think they were just like, weren't they
They might have been
offering?
buying
They
them,
were
yeah.
offering like some.
You were not
50
guaranteed to get that thing back because
Well,
there
no,
were people.
I think that's why they said they were just paying for them. I think they were just like, "Hey, we'll give you $50 or $100 on top of what you paid for this if we can have your console that you pre-ordered at launch."
Just remember, security wasn't tight. They had one dude try to walk off with a gaming PC that was like $2,000, and somebody found him because it was like glowing in his big ass bag. They gave everybody huge bags too, so people were just like snipping off any kind of protection, like walking out with it.
It's hard to run an event.
Yeah, it's hard to run an event, that's for sure.
It turns
it
out.
was I think we did like 2 of those and stopped
But
for a good reason.
You know what you guys didn't do?
What?
Leak everyone's fucking phone number, email address, house address, title.
This was, I think, I don't know if the point of those things was actually get that information. I think it was just like make money off of ticket sales. But this is like 2005, so
Yeah,
we've become a lot more sophisticated than our canvassing and data harvesting.
Yeah. Here is a story that just happened this morning, right before we came in here. Users on Reset Era have found a filing that Nintendo has made with the FCC for a new wireless controller that looks an awful lot like a Super Nintendo controller. I don't know what the standards are for how you file with the FCC, but it's only a picture of the back of the controller.
Huh.
Like, I wonder if it's one of those things where just like showing one side of it is enough to make this filing.
Well, it's not a patent filing or a trademark filing. I think that's just more for like.
I think it's like device approval.
Yeah,
I'm
isn't
not
that the one
100% sure.
We must accept all bad interference and give off no good interference.
I think it's the kind of thing. It's like, here's the wireless frequencies this uses and stuff like that. So yeah, I wonder if it's the kind of situation where it's like, hey, like we can technically meet the requirements of this filing by showing just the back and not what the button configuration looks like.
What do they think that is? Like built-in?
People have already matched up model numbers and have verified it is for use with the Switch.
Yeah.
Okay.
They saw those 8-bit doughs moving off the shelf and decided, oh shit.
Yes.
Seriously, yeah.
Some people have dug into the filing some more. This controller uses the same battery as a Joy-Con. It's going to ship with a 1.5 meter charging cable for what that's worth.
Boy, wouldn't it be a fun coincidence if they lined this up with, say, the release of Super Nintendo games to download onto your Switch and play?
That would make sense.
What's the weirdest way you've ever seen somebody like mount their Switch on a plane? I've seen people
That
do
is such a specific
It's
question.
not Ian, like duct tape it.
Yes.
I've seen people do that too. It's really
Duct tape it to the back of the seat.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Why not just
Yeah.
use a kickstand?
It's because
I love
you want to keep eye level. You can't keep it on your tray because the tray you have to
I
have
can't even put a tray down because that's where my knees go.
Yeah. And you have to have your drinks there too.
How about
Drinks?
head mount?
Head mount. Hey,
Has anybody made like the beer hat but for a Switch?
God.
Like just a brim with like a
A
thing
brim
that
that
it
you can
hangs
slide
from?
it into, like you can dock it.
I tried that.
Put up a Kickstarter.
I tried that once with an old GoPro mount from a previous job where it's like it's a vest you put on and then it had like a 3/4 inch camera mount, but I put my phone there. I think I could probably do that with a Switch.
Yeah,
Oh,
is,
yeah.
is that a flexible? Or
yeah, it's a little opposable arm little deal.
I've seen similar things like that people clamp onto like the headboard of their bed.
Just use like,
Just lay in bed and look up and have the Switch kind of over their face.
use a harmonica holder like Bob Dylan.
Yeah,
That'd be pretty good actually.
Yeah.
We could repurpose the Labo stuff to make a Switch mount, probably.
That should be the next Labo kit. Just make your head mount.
I don't think there's a lot of other specific info on like when this might be coming out.
You guys remember how good the Wavebird was?
Hell
That
yeah.
was so good.
It was great. Even though people like to tell me it was making input lag. I don't
know.
give a
I don't know if I
shit.
believe that.
Could just be a controller, but with all the other persistent rumors about SNES games coming to Switch, this sure would line up with that.
Yeah.
Big question obviously remains, how are they going to distribute those things? Sounds like all the
$90 and then
all the leaks sound like it points to maybe a higher tier, or
I was
premium,
joking, but
a premium priced tier of the online service. That would
I mean,
have
it's only $4 a month right now, right?
Yeah.
yeah, I'm trying. Well, if you get it for a year, it's like
Yeah, there's always
$2.
sales.
No, I mean like just the
Oh.
flat price is like $20 a year.
Yeah. And there's always like bundles and
So
sales and shit.
it is pretty cheap per year. So even if it went up, I'm not saying they should do this, but even if it went up $5 or $10 a year, that wouldn't be the end of the world.
Right.
Yeah.
How do you guys feel about Nintendo's online stuff? Because I just remember I just remember in general, like, I think if they're going to start charging more, they have to simplify that. Because I had this problem, but like I couldn't figure out how to download a game onto Switch from like my PC. Try to figure out how to buy it and associate with my. Maybe I'm just
if your
the odd man out
Switch is set up right, if you wherever you buy it, it should just auto download.
I'm surprised I'm using the Office Switch. I think it's like too many accounts on it. It was really complicated, but
come on,
I had
it's your Switch. Just say that.
It's not my Switch. I have to bring it back anytime you guys want.
I've never seen it here.
Nobody's ever asked me to bring it in. So
The thing about the Switch, there's not much you can do with a Switch that's not yours.
Yeah.
We're gonna need that Switch back.
It's fine to me. I barely use it.
Jason wants to play Fire Emblem.
Yeah.
I have been intermittently trying to go through Octopath Traveler, but it's just not. It's that talk about a game that takes a long time to get into. Like holy shit.
Oh wow.
The biggest saving grace of that online service to me is just that it's so much cheaper than the others.
Yeah.
Like if it was the same price as Nintendo, as Sony and Microsoft's, it would be
It'd
pretty
be a
fucking
joke.
rough.
It'd be a
Yeah, the
joke,
value's not there.
But for $20 a year, like the cloud saves alone are a nice peace of mind.
Mhm.
If your
Yeah.
Switch vanishes. This is a little wonky, but
Ooh, I love Wonky.
it's exciting to think about. Even if it doesn't actually come to anything. But PC Gamer has a story from last week because they noticed that Sony or PlayStation in multiple territories has removed Death Stranding from the PlayStation 4 exclusives list.
That is Wonky.
Yeah.
That is
It's still not there, huh? It wasn't like a little error that just got put back.
last I saw. It's so that's PlayStation Australia, UK, Portugal, France, and Germany. According to like Internet Archives, they went back and verified that it was on that list and no longer is.
Mm.
And then in the course of talking about this, I hadn't seen this or I had forgotten about it or something. But when Kojima founded the current iteration of Kojima Productions, the one that's making Death Stranding,
Yeah.
after it got out of Konami, apparently they briefly ran a Q&A on their website stating that the game they made would come to PlayStation and PC.
And Switch.
Yeah.
Just PC. And then they immediately pulled down that Q&A. Like it was up briefly and then they removed it.
I mean, Sony's the reason this game is being made,
My
right?
understanding is Sony is paying for the development of this game.
Yeah.
So I don't know what that means for all of this. Because it would be...
And usually stuff is announced
think
way
that-
after. Like Tetris Effect was something that was like, yeah,
Right.
it's a PS4 exclusive, and then a year later.
But like Tetris Effect and every other example I can think of, like Sony did not fund... They didn't publish. They
No.
didn't fund development.
This would be like if God of War was coming to PC.
Right, kind of. Well,
Not
they
exactly,
own
but yeah.
all that stuff. Like I don't know what the like rights ownership is here. Maybe he negotiated like a really sweet IP deal for this thing.
He's the level of game maker, I think, who can get a sweet deal like that.
It's very possible.
Sony doesn't. I don't know. I know Microsoft is very pro PC now, but I don't think Sony really.
So that's what I mean.
considers
Like it
PC.
would be very out of the ordinary for
Yeah.
them to put what should be a console or like a platform exclusive onto the PC.
But do they? I mean, they've definitely cared about that with Dark Souls or Bloodborne was the same kind of situation where Sony was publishing it and never. Obviously, that's not coming out to PC as an emulation, but it's really weird. It'd be a big change for them, but I don't. Maybe they don't see PC as being as big a competitor anymore. But who knows?
Yeah,
Hard to say at this point.
The way that I didn't dig up the Q&A from like the Wayback Machine or whatever, but the way PC Gamer describes it is a 2015 Q&A released when Kojima Productions opened its doors, said that the then unnamed project would come to PC after a stretch on PlayStation.
Things change. Who knows?
So, yeah, that's the one they pulled down quickly. And then, just to add to the conspiracy, it looks like Kojima will be doing live stuff at Gamescom in
It's pretty soon. It's
6
coming up.
days.
Yeah.
Next week, Monday the 19th.
Mm-hmm.
Jeff Keighley was out there tweeting that Kojima will be on hand on live stream and on stage at Gamescom to premiere an exclusive new look at Death Stranding. So
Cool.
Do you think Kanye is going to be there? You think Keeley finally got them
definitely.
together?
Definitely. So yeah, who knows? This could be totally nothing, but
I definitely think it's something. Yeah, that
What
makes sense.
what if Death Stranding comes out on the Epic Store?
Wow. The ultimate
That would go over well. I'm
Because
sure.
I
gamers
mean,
conflict.
you know, like that revenue split isn't just good for small indie developers. Like,
Yeah.
that could potentially be a major company looking at that going,
Well,
maybe the margins are such now that we should think about doing something.
but didn't
like
Steam
I
sweeten the
have
deal
no
for
idea.
big publishers?
Oh,
like,
that's
a
right.
little
Yeah,
bit?
yes, they did. Yeah.
Yeah.
but there are still thresholds involved there. You still have to gross X amount of money or
Yeah.
something. I forget.
Love to see it come to Humble Bundle.
Yeah, it's on itch. Download it free on itch.
It would be cool to see that game on PC. That would be quite a thing.
Mm-hmm.
But that could amount to nothing.
It's a couple months out, right? It's getting pretty close.
God, even
November.
that is not that far off now. Like it's
Yeah.
what 3 months away. God, what?
Hey,
Death Stranding is like 3 months away.
In a couple months, someone will have played through all of that game.
Man, somebody's played all the way through it right now.
Yeah, but somebody we can talk to.
Sure. Let's see. Apex Legends launching a solo mode today.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
It's only a 2-week trial.
Oh, really?
Not
Okay.
as of right now
Huh.
a permanent addition to the game.
they've done that with a few other things, though, right? Like
What do you
they've done some trial stuff before.
I don't know that
Am I
they've.
wrong?
I mean,
think
it's very
so.
minor stuff, like
Okay.
different matchmaking stuff. Like there's that. What is it? The Elite.
Yeah, they did that at the end of
There's that,
season
like,
one.
like win streak kind of thing.
Maybe I'm thinking of. I know Division 2 recently had a thing go in and come back out, which was unpleasant too for the players of that. But
I don't think they've done anything as fundamental as this.
No, this
before.
is
They
definitely.
don't do events like I know Fortnite.
Oh, they
does
do events.
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
but like I said, it's always just been sort of like, which hopper do you
Sure.
match into based
Okay.
on your win streak and stuff like
Mhm.
that. Nothing that like really fiddles with the core gameplay that much.
I'm glad they're putting this in. It's
Yeah.
not something I particularly want to play. I really like the 3-person
Yeah.
structure of it. I would have more liked to see a 4-person mode. That's what kind of Will was talking about. That was the thing holding him back, is because all the battle, like your battle royale squad is 4 people for Fortnite, for PUBG. It's just like, and 3 is such a weird number because you have to sit one person out.
I'm trying to think if there's anything about that game that would prevent a 4th person. I can't really think of anything.
Seems
Yeah.
like the fights would be really long. I mean, they're already pretty long in three-person from what I've seen. I haven't played the game myself, but it always seems like the squad battles wind up taking a little bit longer than it does,
Yeah.
like PUBG.
That's kind of the thing. I really want to see how this shakes out because those abilities are so tuned to
Yeah.
team synergy.
Yeah.
So like which characters are going to end up being
Are you
the
ever
best?
gonna pick? Well, I guess even like Lifeline can get herself items, but
Yeah, but like her
her revive
I
shield.
was gonna say her passive is like basically useless in a solo situation.
Yeah, Gibraltar's is we. Like there's so many. I'm glad it's there for the people who just don't want to play with other people. But part of the appeal of that game is being able to jump in with randos, and like 1 out of every 10 times they respond on voice mic, and we're like act like a squad, and we often die, but it's fun.
Destiny cross save coming later this month.
Great.
Finally.
Cool. I logged into Destiny 2 for the first time in a long time last week, and I was very confused.
Yeah,
I haven't played in a long time either, and all the stuff I see people talking about seems incredibly complicated.
Is this a one-time thing or
No, so it's pretty cool. So first of all, I don't know if you saw Shadowkeep got delayed.
no?
Yeah,
Which-
well, they've been working on the infrastructure of that game.
In the
I
old
think.
in the old Activision days would be unheard of.
Yeah.
But now that they do everything themselves, they just were like, "Hey, we need a little
It's
more
not
time.
ready.
Okay.
We're just going to take that time."
I believe they're also taking it off of the Blizzard Activision launcher sometime soon.
Oh yeah, no,
As part of
that's
that?
all
Yeah.
well documented. Like that was their huge announcement a few months ago. Like it's moving to Steam. But like originally the idea was it will launch on Steam, the cross save will launch, Shadowkeep will launch, like everything, boom,
Yeah.
on the same day.
Yeah, and you would get like
Uh,
a one-time transfer.
It's actually so it's more
With-
generous than that.
well,
But,
that was like how they were talking about it at first.
well, so Shadowkeep is I don't have it's early October. I don't have the exact date. It moved back like 2
Because it was
two or-
September, right?
I think
Like
it was I
September
want to say it's
20th or something.
17th or something. So basically, Shadowkeep's only like 2-3 weeks later than they said.
Hmm.
But and I assume the Steam launch is probably also moved back. But the cross-platform stuff is now launching August 20th,
Great.
or maybe it was always planned to launch ahead of Shadowkeep. But anyway, that's next week. It's a week from today. But anyway, the way it works, I think, is probably the best way to go. So you have a Bungie account, and you're going to link your PC, Xbox, and PlayStation accounts to that.
Mhm.
You can't merge those accounts, but instead you will have access to each bucket of characters, and you'll basically say, "This is the active group of characters I want."
Mm-hmm.
'Cause you can only have 3 characters at a time.
Yeah.
So basically, you can say like, "Hey, my PlayStation set of characters is now my active set,"
Hmm.
and then anytime you log in on any platform, those are the characters you will have.
Cool.
But at any time, you can log out and go back and say, "Okay, now I want to play with my Xbox characters,"
Oh, okay.
and switch to those. So
That's great.
This is cross save, not cross play.
yeah, you can't like match into
Okay.
actual gameplay with people on other platforms yet. Maybe that'll
And you
happen.
would still have to buy on
The client for each
the
of
client.
those.
Yeah.
Yes, but as of Shadowkeep's release, everything up to Shadowkeep is now free.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you would just have to buy Shadowkeep
Yes.
on
Mhm.
multiple
Yes.
platforms.
Right.
Yeah. Maybe I'll try it when it comes. Shadowkeep comes out, but like
I also want to get back into it.
Yeah, it's really fun to play still, but they put in this new mode where you're just like launch into this weird new map that's kind of very height
Yeah, I saw.
variable.
Is that the
A lot of closed doors.
is that the aerial zone stuff?
I don't know what it was called. It's Earth or
Yeah, it's
EAZ
it's
or
the
something?
European aerial zone. I think.
yeah, and it's just like you have a waypoint across the map, and it's just trying to find your way across it is really tough. A lot of buildings and a lot of closed doors and like things you can't get through. So you're constantly just kind of. I'm sure if I played it more, I'd know more about it, but I played it a few times and it just got really. And also they give you a bunch of like 700 level upgrades as soon as you go in, but they're like drained, so you have to do all these quests like make them better.
Yeah,
which is-
I need new content. Like as soon as they get into
Yeah.
this mode where it's like, all right, it's the same content, but we have 800 new pieces of armor and guns
Yeah.
for you to chase. I'm like, I can't.
I'd rather have that than kind of. I mean, it feels like they're still trying to ramp you up to because I left off around 540 eye level, and now they're up to I think God only knows at least 700. Probably a lot more than that, like maybe 8. I feel like I'm so far behind, like I don't even know where to go to start ramping up my gear.
Like this is a little bit of a clumsy solution, but it's a lot better than like.
It seems fine.
It would have been shitty if they had been like, all right, you need to pick one platform's worth of characters, and
Yeah.
those are the only ones you have going forward, and like you lose all the others. So
Well-
at least being able to switch between them, like it's kind of a way to have more characters on the same platform than you did before.
Yeah.
The data stuff is just really weird between PC Steam and PC Activision Blizzard because I don't log into a Bungie account. I log into my
Yeah,
Activision Blizzard launcher.
Previously, it was just the BattleNet client.
Yeah.
that this
So am
game
I
was
gonna
tied
have to
to.
log into that and do this transfer?
Well, there's
or-
always been a Bungie account.
Okay. Is it just the same email and password?
You create one when you start the game.
Oh, did I?
I
it's been
don't know if it's
forever ago.
required. It might be optional, but it's on their. It's all on their website.
Okay.
Like you tied it on your. In fact, a lot of people probably have already done this.
Figure it out.
But seems pretty sensible.
Sure.
I
I wish them the best of luck.
I'm really looking forward to.
My thoughts are with their families.
I'm really looking forward to.
That free
Shadowkeep.
play stuff is big. I mean,
Yeah,
yeah,
so-
Shadowkeep's gonna be great too, but
Yeah.
having it free, I think they've. I'm sorry, they announced it at E3. I know. It's gonna be a chaotic day on those.
I think it looks cool. I really like the moon from the first game, so I'm excited to go back.
Do you know how much it
gonna
costs?
migrate?
What's that?
Are you gonna migrate?
Well, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
you don't lose anything, so
Right.
might as well. Although I have basically never. I don't have any progress I care about outside of the PlayStation. So,
Okay.
like for me, all that it really lets me do is pick up my PS4 characters and play with people I know on PC.
On
But that's
PC,
still
yeah.
that's still cool.
That PC version is really good.
Yeah.
It's fantastic to play.
Yeah. Also, let's see, Luke Smith has basically he was doing the state of the game thing where he would just kind of write up his thoughts about where they're at in terms of design. I guess he's now calling that director's cut. He says he's got a new one which is 20 single-spaced pages that he has written about the state of Destiny. But apparently he just put out the first installment of that this morning. If you really want to read a lot about the design of Destiny,
I'm good.
people seem very happy with where that game is at compared to where.
It's so fun to play.
Yeah.
So I've put up a lot of shit in that game that
I-
was off-putting because the game is just fun to play.
Judging by the tone of the replies to him on Twitter now versus like say a year to a year and a half ago, people seem much happier.
Yeah.
Let's see, a couple more quick things. According to the story on Ars Technica, a security researcher exposed a really bad exploit in the Steam client last week. And they saw a comment from Valve, and as far as unless they forgot to update their story, they have not gotten it.
Damn it,
Uh,
Epic.
It's probably their fault somehow.
Yeah.
This thing sounds bad. Like it is a pretty easy way for any malicious piece of software on Steam to basically gain full super user privileges on your machine.
That's bad.
Not good.
No.
Considering Valve's sort of just like anything goes policy to letting games onto Steam
Yep.
that'll do fucking just about anything, including mining Bitcoin on your computer.
God damn it.
Don't download Hentai Bitcoin Puzzle Slider 4.
Yeah, should be careful. They reproduce the Ars reproduce the exploit themselves. Apparently pretty easy.
Great.
Yeah, be careful out there, I guess.
I guess.
Like I said, as far as I can tell, I didn't see Valve has responded to this issue, but they have started moderating Steam Workshop content.
Oh, great.
Let's start.
Anything that goes,
Yes.
yeah, basically anything that goes through Steam Workshop is now subject to an approval process before it actually shows up.
It's
RIP.
active moderation, though. So they would take down inappropriate stuff before, I'm sure.
Yeah, I think that's the case. I mean, there was always like copyrighted material getting uploaded for games that like, oh,
Yeah,
you stole this sword asset from another game and
Or
uploaded
this
here.
Capri Sun and this gun that you put on this witch doctor model.
Yeah, so
That's interesting. This is going to be a lot more work. I mean, they've always been. It always struck me as them. They've always struck me as being like shy of hiring the people required to do like community moderation and stuff like
that's
that.
kind of why. That's why I bring the story up. Is people have had such kind of harsh words about how long it takes them to do certain things that require a lot of people power already.
Yeah, they to their credit, they've been a lot more active on like Twitter, talking about Underlord patches and stuff, and even Dota now they're out there it's like talking about the game and patches in a way they haven't been.
That's Valve. That's Valve Publishing. I mean, the Steam client thing is its own huge operation. It's always been weird how. I mean, they've kind of always been a little bit hands off in terms of how,
that's the biggest criticism is they just didn't hire the people to moderate their actual store.
and I get it, it's expensive, but
So they're saying they claim that the moderation should for workshop stuff should take less than a day before it shows up and is available.
Okay.
But with their history,
Yeah.
not a lot of outrage over those things.
Yet.
It turns out.
I mean, you're always going to have like Nexus mods for stuff that if you want to put big old dicks in your game, you'll still have options.
Yeah.
So. Last story real quick. The Minecraft team has canceled the Super Duper pack.
What?
Yeah, I saw that.
Super bummed about
that is-
about this.
Yeah, that is a bummer.
What was the reason they gave? I saw the headline. I forgot.
So this was they announced it at E3 2017. They announced it alongside the Xbox One X, basically. Like that was actually kind of, they were implying like,
You're gonna need the power of this.
Here's one of the pretty looking things you'll be able to do on the X. It was just a massive like graphics overhaul for Minecraft to add a bunch of really nice graphical effects. There was a lot of enthusiasm for Super Duper from inside and outside the studio, but unfortunately, we aren't happy with how the pack performed across devices. For this reason, we're stopping development on the pack and looking into other ways for you to experience Minecraft with a new look.
Okay.
So, I don't know, it almost sounds like mobile and some of these like, or Switch, maybe we're holding this thing back. I don't know why you can't just say, hey, this only works on Xbox and PC.
Yeah. Also, I feel like the real reason. Well, I feel like that game has just been on a new upswing in the past 6 months.
I feel like people are talking Minecraft again.
People
in a
are
way
streaming it
like,
again.
Like we've been talking about Minecraft around here. Like
they've been updating it like tons. There's a billion new things you can do, and there's so much cool mod stuff you can do. But like that game has such a defined look at this point. Like you can close your eyes and picture Minecraft, and so many other games are copying its look and stuff. And so if it did a massive graphical overhaul, I feel like it might be bad for like the brand as a whole. I don't know.
Maybe.
I feel like it's one of those things where it was a good idea, and I mean, obviously you don't make a big change in your game if it's not to get more people playing your game. But if there's already this new influx of people coming to the game, and maybe they're just like, well, let's just spend these. We can't get it working on phones. Yeah. Let's just spend all this time and resources on something else.
I would assume this might go into a Minecraft 2 at some point. Like that might be what they're.
Is that ever going to happen?
I don't know. Xbox One, Project Scarlet launch title. Just full on Kojima style graphics for Minecraft.
I don't know if you can get away with making a Minecraft 2.
I don't know.
I don't know. We'll see.
Oh, I want them to do it now.
Yeah.
Somebody in a suit in Redmond is looking at the math. Like, yeah, what do they make? They sell that for $20 a pop?
I think it's 30, isn't it?
I don't know.
It's only 20.
Do they sell in-game? They have in-game purchases?
$26.95.
Oh, not to my knowledge.
For the Java version.
Still probably a pretty good deal for the amount of gameplay people get out of that. But somebody in Somebody in a suit somewhere wants to make a Minecraft too.
I don't know. I thought that ray tracing mod that came out a few months ago for
That was
Minecraft
cool.
was a
Yeah.
fantastic sort of proof of concept for like, here's how you can dress this game up and still like
Yeah.
not lose like the character of. The
Can you do like
visual
Skyrim
design.
stuff, like Skyrim visual mods? Like,
Yeah,
can you add that?
yeah,
Okay,
like,
okay.
like some serious stuff, like some really nice looking.
Some super duper stuff.
Yeah.
Why pay developers to do it and people will do it for us for free?
Well, a lot of these mods are coming out of like Patreons and
Okay.
like a lot of these mods are being kind of crowdfunded already.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people are paying for that stuff, but
Interesting.
you can at least kind of get it in the Java version.
I got one more really quick news thing.
Uh-oh.
Did you guys see that ninja stuff?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, with Twitch
I
promoting other
debated
streams.
whether to talk about that or not. If
Well,
you want
debate's
to.
over.
I
Go
think
for
it's, I mean, I think it's interesting. So, you know, obviously he moved off of Twitch to stream exclusively
Yeah,
on Mixer.
Massively successful,
Yes.
like first
Very
week.
successful.
Too. He has,
Well,
like
yeah,
a million
yeah.
followers or something.
Not that successful for Twitch
Yeah,
apparently
yeah.
because they
They seem to take it with good humor though.
oh yeah,
Until
yeah,
they didn't.
They took it with a great humor because they did a weird thing where they haven't done this on anyone else's account who deactivated, but like they started putting links to other streams if you went to twitch.tv/ninja.
Did he deactivate or did he just leave?
Oh,
his thing?
he like shut down his account
really?
full.
Okay.
But so they started advertising other streams for to try and catch people who were like looking for Ninja. And at one point it was just straight up porn on there because it was some Russian stream that was being recommended that was just straight up streaming hardcore pornography.
Which apparently they
Ridiculous.
left up for way longer than they should have.
Yeah, I heard hours.
Yeah.
Ninja put out a video like talking about this. Like, hey, we were trying to be cool, man. We were chill, you were chill. What the fuck, man? You said you were gonna be chill, but you weren't chill, man. In his car.
They were not chill.
They were not chill.
No, they weren't.
They apologized profusely, but it was. I mean,
I also like the statement they put out was like had this very generic language of like, we've been experimenting with ways to expose people to other channels on channels that are offline or something like that. It's like, come on.
I mean,
Yeah.
no, I get it. Like we do promotional stuff ourselves. We don't have like a bunch of different live streams to compete, but you always want to float content that people might be interested if there's nothing there for them right now.
But they already have those in play with like the sidebars
Yeah,
and stuff.
This was just them trying to capitalize on people still going to Ninja's page, even though it doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
But they didn't come out and say that.
It just seemed gross. It seemed like a.
Well, yeah. How fucked up is your algorithm that you're getting hardcore pornography?
Yeah, do you know
Yeah.
how those channels got
To
programmed
surface.
onto that
I
page?
don't. It was unclear.
It was all in Cyrillic too. It was all in Russian, so it's like this
Yeah.
shouldn't be that hard to.
Well, everything else was like a Fortnite stream.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
every
Yeah.
other stream up there.
God,
Yes.
damn it.
Messy situation.
But as far as I know, it sounds like Ninja's doing really well on Mixer. I know his follower. I think his follower counts over there are higher than it was on Twitch when he left.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if there's a huge initial uptick.
I would love to see some more like general Mixer stats and see if there's been like a trickle down effect
Yeah.
to other channels and
Man,
like
I'm
what the
sure.
overall.
How I haven't turned on my Xbox One in a while. Do you think Xbox, the new one, is going to have like Mixer like all over the place?
Oh, for sure.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think so.
Well, not all over the place, but they'll have equivalent support as they
Yeah.
do now.
I mean this new alpha.
That's all over the place then.
Okay.
This new alpha dashboard they're testing has kind of made like the store and the Mixer page less intrusive from what I've seen, so that's nice. But yeah, I mean they paid for Mixer, you know, they should leverage that. And I mean, like we said last week, like Mixer is a cool platform.
Yeah, it's a
got-
decent enough
got-
service.
It's got good tech.
Yeah.
No lag.
Like it's fun to work with. It would be cool to see some more competition in that space. Also, the winner of that Fortnite tournament got swatted.
Yeah.
If we're gonna talk
God
about,
damn it.
if we're gonna
Live
talk
on
about
stream.
Kid.
if we're gonna talk about streamer drama,
14, 13?
I forget how old he was
I
exactly.
thought he was 15.
He's a
Damn it.
teen.
Definitely underage.
Yes.
Yes.
Definitely streaming live when the SWAT team showed up.
Maybe living in his parents' home.
No, his
like,
parents were the
probably.
ones who like can't like he was on the stream. He didn't
Yeah.
even know what had happened until like
Jesus.
his parents had met the cops at the front door with guns drawn.
With guns drawn. Oh, fucking.
You would have thought after somebody got killed and the dude responsible just got sentenced to 20 years
Yeah.
that
Imagine.
maybe it would have had a dampening effect.
Imagine mom's cooking dinner and she hears a knock at the door. She's got a knife in her hand. She opens it up. It's police, and they think there's a hostage inside. Like fucking, they're oh my god,
Yeah.
Poor family.
Yeah.
scumbags on the internet.
Yeah.
More likely than you'd think.
Okay. That is a bunch of headlines.
It's a good bunch of headlines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks, you, Brad.
Stuff happened.
Thank you, Brad.
Been a
You
little.
think it lived up to your standards?
Pretty good week for news.
Okay.
The loot box stuff is really interesting. I'm really curious where it goes. I've
Yeah.
never been somebody who's like I just don't buy them myself, but like you tie it into like stuff like Magic and everything.
I mean, it's just like Mortal Kombat in the 90s and Night Trap. Like the second there are congressional hearings about something, they rushed to voluntarily slap ratings on the boxes of everything. So, yeah. Okay, that's it for news. We'll take one more break real quick and then read some emails. Hey, did you know our sister site at GameSpot.com has a brand new podcast? And would you believe all this hot new action takes place after dark? That's right. GameSpot After Dark is GameSpot's brand new official gaming podcast hosted by video producer Jake Decker. It's a little more casual and fun than what GameSpot readers are used to. You know, things get a little loose after hours. Maybe even a little steamy. That's because at night, CBS shuts off the air. After Dark will feature such friends of the Bombcast as Peter Brown, Callie Plaguey, Lucy James, Michael Hyam, Timur Hussein, all your favorite GameSpot All-Stars, breaking down their thoughts on what they're playing and watching, getting into spoiler chats, review discussions, and more. And you might just hear a few video game industry luminaries in the mix as well. When can you listen to After Dark, you may ask? How about right now? The first episode premiered on August 9th, and new episodes will hit each and every Friday morning on iTunes, Spotify, and all your favorite podcast services. That's GameSpot After Dark. Look for it. Emails stands for electronic mails.
Thank you. Oh, yeah.
Mails sent electronically.
Emails.
Sent to bombcast at giantbomb.com.
Bombcast.
Boomcast.
Yes.
Excuse me, burpee.
At
Giant Boomba.
At giantbomb.com.
great.
.com.
Jake from Tampa, Florida. Last week, a listener wrote in about Vaccine Man being in the first episode of One Punch Man as an homage to Toriyama. It's also worth noting that Vaccine Man is also voiced by Christopher Sabat in the English dub, who also voices Piccolo and Vegeta.
Thank you for noting that.
Conspiracy.
I've
This
been
is all
watching.
starting to line together.
I've been watching One Punch Man on Hulu in the dubbed version. I just feel like I should point that out because I know it'll make people mad.
I actually heard the
Do you
dub is
often
good.
want to make people mad?
No,
Is that,
no, I don't.
okay.
I'm
What do you think?
I think it's fine. I mean, I don't really watch a huge amount of anime, but I've heard so much about that one. But it's also kind of the thing I'd like to not like have to pay full attention to. I'll just like play a game and then turn over when a big fight scene's happening, which is usually
It's a pretty show.
the last 5 minutes of an episode. You usually got a big fight scene happening.
Yeah.
It's usually only one punch. But
Yeah, he punched a guy in the balls the other day, but I think he survived.
ouch.
The ninja guy.
Yeah,
Remember when he bites the guy's sword? That's a good scene.
I don't know if was that in the same episode.
Yeah, it was like right before he punches him in the balls. I
Maybe I
think.
should be paying
What
more
if-
attention to it then.
What if he kicks someone? Does that count? That doesn't count as a punch. He
It
can kick.
heals them.
Oh, okay.
No, I don't know.
With that email in mind, the very next email that came in chronologically after that one from Matt in New Jersey. Please stop. No more anime talk. Brad, you have the power. For the sake of us all and mankind as we know it, please put an end to this.
Sorry, man.
Sorry, but
It's happening.
We're already deep
Just
in.
let it happen.
That'll be the last anime email
boy,
we ever read.
imagine opening your heart to something instead of hating it instantly just because
Right.
it's a certain thing. No.
That's what Naruto did. That's what the Hidden Leaf Village, and look where he wound up.
That's what he did when he positioned his arms behind him and ran chest first
exactly.
Ran
he left
chest first into becoming Hokage.
into freedom.
fantastic. He's on the Mount Rushmore now.
Yeah, he's on Ninja Mount Rushmore.
That can happen to you too.
Believe it.
Now federal law enforcement is aware of the Naruto run.
It's true.
I'm total. I don't know
Yeah.
if you saw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody in the Pentagon had a goddamn meeting about
They developed countermeasures against Naruto running.
If Mythbusters was still a thing, I bet you they would try and bust if you were more aerodynamic doing the Naruto run.
There is no counter for the Hokage. Nathan from Olympia, Washington. Would you rather have your dishes done for you for the rest of your life or your laundry?
Laundry.
Ooh.
I'm gonna go with laundry.
Dishes.
Huh.
Dishes is more involved. Laundry.
Wait,
you-
really? Oh, laundry
Yeah.
takes so much longer.
But you can
It
do
does,
something else
but-
while you're doing it.
Yeah, but I'd rather
Yeah.
just get it all done.
I don't know. I like the warm, fluffy clothes. Those are nice.
I got
cool.
eczema on my hands, and doing dishes fucks it up
Yeah.
unless I'm wearing gloves, and that's such a hassle.
I kind of like the 10 minutes it takes to like do the hand wash dishes. We have a dishwasher, but I never use it. Just turn on Jawbreaker, Bivouac, that specific song because it's like 11 minutes long and it's really loud.
Yeah.
And just to sit down and like listen to that and do the dishes. It's kind of a nice
Sit down and do
zen.
the dishes.
Yeah, sit down and do the nice little zen moment at the end of the day. Laundry I find to be much more of a hassle, historical hassle.
Okay.
Yeah, like the in between time while you're doing laundry is useless because you can't go anywhere.
Yes, you can.
Well, not.
Sure, you can.
You could immerse yourself in a book.
I mean, but
You shouldn't.
you don't want to be that person
Especially
who
if you're-
leaves their
yeah, if
you're in a
laundry
shared
space.
in the
You set-
machine.
You set
Yeah.
a timer.
Do you go to
This
a
is not
laundromat?
hard.
Do you both go to laundromats?
I used to.
Okay. Laundromats are...
No, we have it in the building, but it's a shared machine.
Okay,
so
okay,
it's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
Put 45 minutes on your phone timer.
But that's
you
what I'm
go
saying.
and-
45 minutes is like,
I
it's not
can't
enough
really
time
go
to really do
anywhere.
anything.
Yeah.
What if I get held up or something?
You go back and play
get a
45
flat
minutes of a
tire?
video game.
I used to have to walk 4 blocks to a laundromat, and it was...
Switch,
But
books.
it's always hanging over your head.
But-
There's another step to this process.
Let me take it to the next level. Okay, imagine you become insanely rich for some legitimate reason. But not so... You become rich enough where you can either... When you're done with your dishes, you can just destroy them. Or when you're done with your laundry, you can just throw it away because you have an infinite wardrobe. Which would you prefer?
Dishes. Get rid of them.
I'd say dishes probably, yeah. I don't really care that much about dish.
That's fun.
Well, that'd probably
Yeah.
be cheaper.
Well, yeah, you're covered.
But I have an infinite
It was in a
amount of
will
money.
from a estranged uncle you didn't know about.
I mean, you could just like set up an Amazon subscription for new dishes. You know, like if you're getting
Yeah.
new clothes, you have to try them on and look at them and see what you
True.
like. Like dishes, who cares?
Any of you ever done delivery laundry? Like they come by and pick it up and throw
I
it
did
off back
it like once or twice back when it was
Not
new.
bad. Still
and
pricey, but-
one time it was fine. The other time they shrink literally all of my clothes.
Ooh, yikes!
You never know how you're gonna get.
And they're like, "Oh, we can refund you." I'm like, "Great, you're gonna refund me for the price of all these clothes too
Yeah.
that you ruined?"
I think I would have to go laundry.
Yeah.
I just think the overall time savings would be so much bigger.
I don't mind doing the dishes, so I'd pick
I
one or
don't
two.
love doing the dishes, but you can do it pretty quickly.
Get a dishwasher.
Every dishwasher experience I've ever had has been with sticky food left on a plate. Like
Sticky
you have to
food.
wind up either cleaning up beforehand already or clean it up afterwards when it doesn't clean up properly.
That's a shitty
Just-
dishwasher.
Yeah, I've had a lot of shitty dishwashers.
Yeah, we
Melted
have
cheese
we
on
have
a
a
plate.
we have a dishwasher that is terrible.
Yeah, it's not fun. You have to soak it first and then put it in. It just seems like adding an extra step that I'd just rather just do it all by hand and know it's clean.
Yeah.
It's my opinion.
take it.
Ben from Pittsburgh. After hearing about ridiculous fair food that you all enjoy, I took it
Yes.
upon myself to attend an Italian festival this week
Ooh.
near Pittsburgh. I had some awesome fried ravioli and gnocchi. Just about every stand was an independent vendor, which was family owned. However, to my surprise, the first stand that we saw was one that was a Pizza Hut stand.
Hey,
Oh, mamma mia.
Italian.
What is the weirdest corporate restaurant that each of you have seen that has slithered its way into the beauty that is a county fair?
I've been to a county fair in a
I
while.
don't remember. I haven't been to a ton of fairs, but I
Yeah.
don't remember ever seeing like chain.
I've seen like Subways and
Yeah.
Quiznos.
Mm,
Every Outside Lands, the music festival in San Francisco, they'll always have a Subway booth.
Sure.
That's tucked off somewhere.
Did you
It's
go?
probably a lead sponsor. Or
I
something.
stopped by a super last minute Saturday.
Did you?
No, I heard
were
it
you-
was
were you
fucking
there?
90,000 people.
Were you there for the Childish Gambino?
Yes, I was
heard-
in the midst of it. I almost got into a fight.
Wow.
Yes.
What happened?
Well, my lady friend and I were enjoying our time. We're singing along, dancing along, and then this mean, dumb idiot decides like, well, I want to get to the front, so I'm going to push past this couple enjoying their time. He almost knocks my lady friend down.
Ooh.
Doesn't apologize. Looks back. I grab him by the backpack. Proceed to tell him to apologize.
Attaboy.
And then he looked like he was about to cry. And then I shoved him, and then I kicked him in the butt.
All right.
There we
Okay.
go.
Outside Lands. It's a fun time.
Yeah.
There we go.
I once
Too
had
many people.
two girls try to crawl through a crowd under my feet to get to the front of a Grimes show. I think.
That is really smart,
Yeah.
actually.
They literally were on their hands and feet trying to get through they're packed in. Nobody can move, and it's just like
dangerous.
they got down and they looked around like, I guess we can't get through here. Like, it's my birthday, I want to be up front. Like,
No, it's not.
you came here 45 minutes late for the show. You don't get to be up front.
I
Yeah.
just always have constant show anxiety, so I never
Stand in the back, yeah.
When I was trying to leave, I felt like Mufasa during the Stampede scene in Lion King.
I heard it was like 90 minutes to get an Uber, like because nobody, you can take the end, but it's so many people, 90,000 people trying to get out of Golden Gate Park at one time.
It's
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just
Yeah,
walk a few
fuck
miles.
that.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
I parked at Ocean Beach and walked.
That's smart.
When,
That's
we,
really
when
smart.
we lived out in the Richmond, the last day of Outside Lands, we were driving back because we were like, let's get out of here for the weekend. We drove back. My partner had to park our car 16 blocks away and take the bus back because parking was so impossible to find.
Yeah, I live close enough to hear it, and I avoid every liquor store and supermarket.
Those places make so much money.
The entire
that
weekend, I'm not fucking going near those places.
Yeah, those places make so much. I mean, people complain about the noise and the double parking and shit like that. Those are serious concerns for people who live out there. But the businesses around that area get
I'm sure.
so much.
It was
overflow money.
amazingly quiet this year. I barely heard.
I mean, it was like Paul Simon was a headliner on Sunday with somebody from the Grateful Dead, I think, and it was just kind of more of a mellow last day. But yeah, 90,000 people.
I heard. I saw so many people raving about that set. Like I saw multiple people say like that was one of the best live shows I've ever seen.
I've heard
Gambino or Paul Simon?
Gambino.
Yeah, it was good. It's great.
They did. Speaking of vendors, they did have the first ever live concert event space where you could buy weed and smoke weed on site.
Yes.
Apparently,
Outside Lands?
Grassland.
Grasslands.
Yeah.
Whoa, dude. For the first time in San Francisco history, somebody going to smoke weed in Golden Gate Park.
Okay, but even though they had a designated place where they were selling weed in the park, I still saw a guy.
Else.
No, I still saw a guy specifically running around groups of people with like a jar full of pre-rolled blunts, saying like, "Pre-rolls for sale."
Oh yeah.
Dude, if you're a cop, that's the last people smoking weed. It's the last people you want to worry
Literally
about.
every other person there had a weed vape too, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Worry about the drunks, not the
Oh yeah.
the pipe hitters. Is that what they call them nowadays? The pipe hitters?
I don't
pipe
think so.
hitters.
I don't believe that is the
I've not heard that vernacular.
not in this particular context. No. Where do you think where does the Panhandle drum circle go during Outside Lands? They have to find somewhere else.
Yeah.
They don't take over.
They have their
all
own
of-
festival.
yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. Let's see. Got at least I think a couple emails about ridiculous food this week.
Sure.
Here's one
Fun.
from Kurt in Sydney. God, we didn't even talk about the actual email, but thanks for the story
Yeah, I
about
got nothing.
Pizza Hut.
Yeah, I don't recall. I haven't been to a county fair in a long time.
Kurt in Sydney. I've never heard of this tradition mentioned before outside of my local area, so I feel it is my duty to spread the word. The hooly dooly is a whole garlic bread sprinkled with shredded cheese, wrapped in a pizza, and toasted in a sandwich press or pan until the cheese melts. What are your thoughts? Does this carbohydrate nightmare deserve to spread, or should it remain contained where it can do no wrong?
Doesn't the sniper from TF2 say hooly dooly all the time? I feel like there's some Australian video game character that
It sounds like a
hooly dooly.
panini with like a little
Yeah.
extra work. But I love a panini. I love
Well,
a panini.
Anything that starts with garlic bread,
The
I'm
whole
in.
the whole garlic bread in the middle is like that's a lot of bulk.
Yeah.
But
I'm
you can
trying to-
smash stuff down.
Yeah,
So I'm
pretty
trying to picture. Also, Googling hooly dooly comes up with a whole lot of other stuff that is not.
Yeah, I've never heard of this.
Like, is it a full pizza that the garlic
Yeah.
bread gets wrapped in, or is it like a big slice?
I'm
Also, how do you eat it?
imagining-
Do you like slice it into like
Oh,
cross
yeah.
cross section?
That's
Like
my guess.
I'm imagining like a rectangular pizza will probably be best to use this because that will
Sure.
fold over easier.
Okay. And then are we like, is the garlic bread, is it like the half slice that you normally get, or is it like a folded one? It's a lot of carbs going on.
it
Yep.
is.
Yeah.
Carbs wrapped in
have
carb.
that.
Wow.
Good nap.
Sounds
I
so
had
good though.
I had a lettuce wrapped hamburger this weekend. And I
I
wanna
saw
try
Protein
that.
style.
It was like-
congratulations.
I know. I've never tried one before, and I was like just curious about it because
Oh,
I
that's
was I was getting sleepy after like a big carb heavy
Yeah.
meal, and this was just like a bunch of iceberg lettuce
Yeah.
slices on either side, like it was all chopped up, and you can hold it. It came in a tinfoil like wrapper, so you weren't like leaking juice everywhere. Highly recommend.
I love it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
All right,
do the
so-
same thing for deli sandwiches sometime.
really,
Really?
Hey.
Sandy's right down there. I'll do it when I was on keto. Just look it up.
Anyways, we have no hooly dooly yet.
No,
would-
I could not find a picture.
I would eat one for sure. I mean, all
Yeah,
those
I would
things
try it.
individually sound amazing.
That
That's
sounds
like-
delicious. Yeah.
I would
Some of
definitely
my
do that.
favorite foods.
Could just make one.
We
we
have a
could just try
kitchen
it.
here.
Could just try it ourselves.
I don't think the Giant Bomb Test Kitchen has a sandwich press.
Hmm.
Or at least I haven't looked hard enough yet.
You said you could use a
proofing
pan.
drawer.
You said you could use a
yeah.
pan with
Wait, do we have a proofing drawer?
That oven has a proofing setting.
We are gonna have to recreate an episode of the Great British Bake Off, just or baking show, whatever it's called. Just compete to bake something.
Great giant bomb off.
Way.
Did you know
Tell
they
the
have to
FBI.
pay for their own ingredients?
What?
Oh,
In
really?
the Great British Bake Off?
No.
Besides the flour and stuff, like if they want anything fancy, like the spices or whatever,
Uh-huh.
they have to go out of their own pocket to
Unreal.
grab it.
Huh.
Blew my mind.
You'd think It's
Mary
government.
Berry's kind of tight.
Berries, yeah. Just buy it off of the Mary Berry store. You get company script.
Look, his name is Paul Hollywood.
That dude, just silver-haired fox
Paul
man.
Wall
Just
Street.
Paul Hollywood. What a great name.
Honestly, one of the top 10 television names of all time.
Do you
And it's
think
British.
him and Guy Fieri could have done like a Parent Trap situation where they were like separated at birth?
Man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I need to see
for
it now.
sure.
Here's an email from Candace. My husband and I are playing Fire Emblem at the same time, and he does something I strongly disagree with. He will save before every conversation and then restart from that save if he doesn't get optimal results.
I'm guilty of this too.
What?
I think this goes against the organic spirit of the game to build relationships. What do you guys think about save scumming when bonding with characters? Also, he does this with other games.
This has gone back to like KOTOR, early BioWare games where you have sometimes the big thing is whether you get to see the relationship number go up and down
Yeah,
based on
Fire Emblem is like an arrow.
Yeah, so if you get that and you can save scum between conversation options or whatever, I kind of want in all those games to have a complete team. And I don't really role play all that much like evil good, so I'll try to keep the evil people on my team too as long as I can. So I'm definitely guilty of this.
I'm kind of with her, especially from the sound of how much content is in Fire Emblem.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
just,
You're not
just
hurting
roll,
for-
roll with it.
Yeah, it seems like I don't want to get everyone. I'm normally a completionist too, but I'm like, I already have like such a good team and I've imported a couple people, but like it also, games usually don't, I feel like most of the time they leave a little wiggle room. Like you can get a few things wrong here and
Yeah.
there if you get most of them right. I guess that's fun for some people, you know. I it's not appealing to me at all. It just sounds like it's going to make something less enjoyable.
I've done some amount of that type of stuff in the past, and I don't think it's fun. I think
Yeah.
it sucks. It's just a weird obsessive feeling of like, I don't want to miss anything. I got to get all the best everything. But like,
And with like how prevalent playthroughs on YouTube and stuff now, it's
Yeah.
so easy to see what you
right,
miss.
it's actually very liberating to just say fuck it and just be like, all right, whatever happens is going to happen, and
Yeah.
I'm just going to go through this.
I try that at home and it doesn't work out very well.
Yeah.
Save some and
Oh
realize,
shit! What did I do
hold
wrong?
on, take it back.
Hold
let
on,
me just, like,
yeah.
let me just walk out. I'll walk back in again.
What did
How
I
was
do?
your day?
What did I do? I forgot your birthday. No, shit.
I would probably not do that on a Switch just because I feel like. But if it's like F5, F8 in a PC game, it's a lot easier to do. And I don't know. It's not something I'm proud of necessarily, but I would do that for conversation skill checks too in like Fallout games.
Just think about if the characters knew what you were doing. Just think about if
I'm trapped in a video game. No.
they would know how your save scum. Like it's like having a dossier on them and just like looking at it and being like,
It's like a bad romantic
how
comedy.
is your relationship with your brother?
Email from Nick. Would you get a wood grain PlayStation 5 or Xbox 2?
Oh
Yeah.
I've seen some custom. Well, he says
The
I've
PT
seen.
Cruiser of
Yeah.
consoles.
He actually said PS4 or 5, Xbox 1 or 2. I've seen some custom ones online already, and honestly, I'm tempted.
I'd be hesitant about a heat retention, but if you have good cooling,
I don't think he means actual wood.
I don't know. You mean like a case? I
I don't think they would use literal wood.
he said wood
Right.
grain.
Well, you see it on cars. You know that's not actually just like a
What is it,
slab
like
of wood.
Plastic resumer or something? Resumer?
Resumer.
What is wood grain? How do they make those panels? Is it
I
just like
don't
a
know.
Out of wood.
Might be some kind of composite, or maybe it's just printed on. I don't
Let's
know.
go to how it's made. Check it. Check out my DVDs.
I'm not gonna lie. Like, as questionable as that new Atari thing appears, like that weird Android-based whatever the fuck they're making, like that wood grain version of that thing, but a modern box looks pretty fucking cool.
I like it.
Do you have your consoles like on display where you can see them? Because mine are shoved into a TV
No,
stand.
they're on
Yeah,
a
mine
shelf.
are just under the TV.
Yeah, I probably even look at my PS4 because I don't put in discs anymore. I just kind of power it on with the controllers.
Going back to the 360 launch again, I remember.
Faceplates, man.
I remember Ryan.
yeah.
Ryan bought the wood grain faceplate the day of launch with that thing. I thought it
Rad.
was the dumbest, coolest thing.
Some of those things were really rare.
I would love a like GameCube-esque like multiple looks for a
Yeah.
console situation to come back.
Doing it for the Switch.
Yeah, obviously easier with a handheld. It's
Yeah.
less plastic and.
They can still
and
buy
stuff.
them, but they're usually like bundled in with special. Like,
Oh yeah,
like
there's always like a,
bundles.
but it's always like, oh, it's a Gears themed one, or
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
Madden themed console. Like
Well, the PS4 has those removable like top plates as well.
the regular does.
Yeah,
they got rid of it with the Pro.
That's true.
Just give me
I got a cool Street Fighter one
give me a Spice Orange Xbox.
with a handle.
Yeah, now we're talking. Everything should have a handle.
That's a good point.
Chris from Vancouver. Oh, I'm sorry. This is Vancouver, Washington.
Oh,
Oh.
well, that changes things.
Just wondering what fast food chain would make the best sushi. Maybe Wendy's or McDonald's? Jack in the Box?
Jack in the Box.
Dare I say Taco Bell?
Oh,
let me
that's
think,
a
let me
really
think.
good question.
yeah, dude, that's a really bad question.
That
Yeah.
is-
A1 is going to be bad no matter where you
Like,
go.
fucking no way.
You're saying fast food, not fast casual.
Long
right?
John Silver's.
Okay.
Hey, maybe
they'd be-
yeah.
do
Red
maybe like
Lobster is-
tempura.
Yeah, I feel like you got it
Wait,
actually.
Red Lobster's not fast food, is it?
No, that's
No,
fat.
no,
That's
That's fast
That's a
chain.
dining.
family casual.
Yeah, that's like on the level of an Applebee's or something,
God.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Red Lobster.
I mean, sushi's already so bad when you buy it like at the grocery store.
I mean,
Or the gas
yes,
station.
but like,
At the gas station, yeah.
I don't know.
there's
I-
decent fast food. Or not
I have
fast
I have
food,
I have
but-
eaten some like tolerable
Yeah,
grocery store sushi before.
Sushi Rito's pretty good. I mean, that they so, hey, Sushi Rito would be the option. They already make Sushi
they're not
Ritos. So
fast food.
they're. I mean, I've walked in and gotten
It's
out.
fast casual, sir.
Okay. I actually want to.
That's
What
like
is-
saying,
it's
you know
like-
who'd make the worst? Chipotle.
I don't know. The thing is, like slicing fish like that is not something any fast food place really does. Maybe Long John Silver's, but
Now
It's
I'm
such
thinking-
a-
yeah.
Got it.
Sorry.
it's such a more carefully crafted kind of food. That's not. It really needs a lot of care put into it, which I don't think most fast food.
Right.
That's an amazing question, though. I'm really thinking about it now. Like, what it would take to
Oh.
make a fast food?
Panda Express.
I'm sure. Like,
Chinese take on American Chinese Japanese food.
it's been a while since I've been to Japan, but I know they. It's a different thing between like restaurant style versus like just buying at a thing. But man, that's the turnover you have in fast food is so difficult.
I have a friend who he eating sushi at like a nice sushi restaurant is it's a whole thing. Like
Yeah.
you have a procedure that
Sure.
you're supposed to follow. And my
Don't
friend,
get too serious about it though.
yeah. I mean, you're supposed to have fun still. But my friend was like really wanted. He was going to Japan. He really wanted to nail it. He really wanted to get like just like top marks on eating sushi.
Comportment.
And he like got almost all the way through the meal, and the waiter walks up and just hands him a piece of paper in English, and it's called sushi etiquette: what to do while eating sushi. And it just like had the tips on it, and my friend was just like, "No,
Didn't do it.
I've seen so many weird sushi videos, like people who get so snobby about it. You should dip it in soy sauce. Just go, and as long as you're having a good time, I think most sushi chefs, like I've done omakase in a bunch of places, just sit and talk to them a little bit, and
It
just,
depends on the place. Yeah, if you're
Don't
going to
spit
like
anything out.
a like I can understand going to like a Michelin star sushi restaurant and wanting to you play by their rules. It's like the same thing if you go to like a really nice French restaurant. You're not just like
Well,
sushi's good.
You
Though.
may
I love fast food sushi.
drive through sushi.
Man,
perhaps as a good follow-up to an email about McDonald's doing sushi. If you could please keep my email anonymous, I would appreciate it. On last week's podcast, you guys debated about the most unclean piece of equipment at McDonald's. As someone whose job it is to tune up and repair a lot
Ice
of restaurants'
machines.
equipment in the San Francisco area,
Oh no.
I can tell you that you are correct about the ice machine. While the water is typically filtered, most places tend to forget to change the filters out for several years.
Yeah.
Because of this, molds tend to grow in the ice, frap, and soda machines.
Yep.
Nothing terribly harmful, but still a bit gross. As long as a place doesn't get you sick, I wouldn't worry about it. Although the Market Street McDonald's has the second most cockroaches I've ever seen.
second most.
That's the end of the email.
I
He
wanna
doesn't
know-
even say what has the most.
has anybody here actually worked fast food? Because I
Yes.
definitely have.
Yes.
I mean,
No.
it's a different experience. Like
a
it's
half day.
Yeah. Oh, is that how long you made it?
Yeah, like McDonald's, my first
Yeah.
actual
Oh,
job.
boy.
But I got a call like during training,
Uh-huh.
my orientation day, that I got hired at EB, and I
Oh,
was like,
well, there we go.
I was like, see ya.
If you see somebody done, I mean, there's no real safe way to do it, but I've always trusted a little bit more the places that have the big ass ice machine that you dump into
Yeah.
the soda thing, because the
Yeah.
soda thing, taking that apart and cleaning that, if it has ice in there too, is like a whole fucking day. But yeah, The ice machine is always the go-to. We have a couple of countertop ice machines. We've had a couple in the past, and they've gotten moldy pretty quick. Like it's just something that seems to happen based on the quality of your water. And so if you've never tried to clean a home ice machine from like RCA, it's in a nightmare. You can't get in there at all. They don't come apart. They're all like little boxes, but we like ours a lot, except for the mold. That's my story.
Kind of lied. That wasn't actually the end of the email. He also says, I could attach some pretty gross pics, but I'll leave you with my personal favorite. It's a picture from, I don't know if it's like the office in the restaurant or something. Mm-hmm. It's just a printout of a bunch of little, like 11 repeated clip art of a mouse with a bunch of them like slashed off.
Yeah, there's like 11 mice and 6 of them have been crossed off, but the other 5
as if there is just a rodent kill list posted in this room in this
Charlie
restaurant.
Work, man.
It's a bounty board.
Also, one of the mice has like a bunch of scribbling over its head.
That was a bad.
I don't know what that. I don't want to know what that means.
He's angry.
Anonymous user, if you could just go ahead and respond to me directly with some what the number one
just give
was and
a few
anywhere
addresses
to just avoid in the San Francisco area. I think I already know the answers.
Yeah,
but
oh my god,
that would be useful.
That Market Street McDonald's does not like it super. I'll buy some bacon, egg, and cheeses every once in a while.
We talked about it last week. It's the worst McDonald's in America.
I
went there once and was so put off by it.
Still go a couple times a month.
Well, they closed the other one that was just like a half block away.
That's where the Amazon Go store is now, I think.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Which I do a lot of days.
This is from David. I live in Windsor, UK. I live in Windsor, UK. Most notable resident, the Queen.
Those corgi puppies.
She's not the only one with a headquarters here. Both Take-Two Interactive and Konami both have offices as well on the same street. I've often thought about dumpster diving behind their offices to look for interesting news and updates.
What?
However, I'm too lazy and law-abiding to actually do it. Have any of you ever done anything similar?
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Gotten
Dumpster
any leads
diving?
for an article or just a semi-fresh, half-eaten pizza from a dumpster diving excursion?
I've gotten a trunk full of Cliff Bars once.
Yeah.
Wow. Whoa.
We dumpster dived in the triangle, the Daly City Triangle.
There we go.
To get donuts. We got a whole bag of donuts. I did it in college a lot.
Okay. What was were the Cliff Bars like in a case, like in a box, or just loose?
They some were loose, some were in a box.
Okay.
They were just in a dumpster.
Yeah.
I went with my college professor.
That's like sealed packaging. You can probably
Yeah.
feel pretty confident about that.
I did that. Yeah, there was a packaging, like food packaging plant or whatever, like warehouse, and they'd throw out their bags of chips, like Lay's and stuff. Never opened, but they were like a day past like expiration. Is like, no, these are still good.
When I was in college, our A&E editor at the time was homeless. He actually like lived on campus in the newsroom, and would dumpster dive regularly. So we were just like, okay, take us, like show us what to do, and we'll help you.
Show us
like
the way.
Yeah, and so we would go like a couple times here and there. They would throw, we'd go like Trader Joe's was an especially good one. They had like tons of stuff that was just like a day past or like slightly dented or whatever. We'd get big boxes of lettuce like behind. They just kind of had anything goes. I was like, and he was really good at like being able to quickly go through and just like pick out the stuff that was unopened because he was so experienced. But
the sourdough chain local to San Francisco has to throw away all their sourdough bread at the end of the day. So just a quick tip if you're looking for some sourdough bread.
Hell yeah, that stuff's good bread too.
Yeah, it's great.
As a horny 14-year-old, I always thought they.
Where is this going, Matt? Where is the
Always
story
thought.
going? Jan, get the kill button ready.
I always thought the bookstore would have to throw out their Playboys and stuff like that. And I looked once.
What?
They did not. They did not.
Things have gone out of style.
No, because they replace them every month. It wasn't until I worked in that same bookstore that I figured out they return them all to the. But so hey, maybe I had my fill of Playboy at that bookstore. My funniest story ever.
Before the internet, what a different time.
Talk about before the internet. One time, I found a couple of kids. I did the magazine racks.
Oh God, where's this Jan?
They opened up some like adult magazines and they had a camera on a tripod and were taking pictures of it.
Hell yeah!
To try to get pictures of naked ladies for themselves. This was like 2001 or 2 after I got out of college, and like. There was the internet then. You could find this stuff online, but just thinking they could get away with it. Like they were opening up sealed magazines and trying to take pictures of them. And I've been horny before too, but holy shit, that is a whole nother level of like going out of your way to find some naked ladies. I had to tell him to leave, and I was like, I admire your ingenuity, but this is for me.
Just go to a public library like the rest of us.
Bookstores.
Gross.
I've worked some weird jobs in my day.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Nick from Manchester, Connecticut. Maybe this is a West Coast thing, but what the hell is up with the Bombcast crew, them 3 a.m. boys, and your guests being less than disgusted at the thought of Little Caesars? Granted, I'm in a good pizza town, but I went to Little Caesars once in my adult life and was disgusted. It ran so deep that I was once offered a pizza lunch as a thanks for some volunteer work. When it was revealed that pizza was to be Little Caesars, I suddenly recalled a fictional commitment and got the hell out of there.
You're too good for free pizza, huh?
Yeah, I know, right? I'm just establishing the platform to give you guys a chance to respond. Is pizza in your region so bad that Domino's is considered good and Little Caesars acceptable?
Yeah.
This has been bothering me for years, and I need answers.
Yeah.
No,
Kinda.
Domino's isn't good. It's serviceable. Same
yeah,
thing with Little
same-
Caesars. It's
exactly.
like people like to shit on it because it's one of the worst fast food pizzas you can get.
Which
but
one?
Little Caesars.
I haven't had it in years, but I don't remember it being that bad.
It's
Yeah,
not
it's
like
not.
that's the thing. The worst pizza is like
They've got a stuffed crust that is actually
the stuffed crust is good.
I like that
And
a lot.
their Detroit style pizza is like way better than the hot and ready. Their thicker
yeah?
crust stuff.
Sure.
It's like actually pretty okay.
They say hot and ready. They don't say good. So
Yeah,
Right.
like, that's the thing. It's
Two
$5.
things in the
Yeah.
triangle.
It's ready right away. If you're like a mom who has to feed 2 kids, it's like, well, great. I'm gonna give you $5 for this large pizza.
Totally.
You know,
They still do the rectangular pizzas, or is it all round?
yeah, that's
now?
the thing. Those are the
Okay.
Detroit style. Like, those are supposed to be better.
I like the Italian bread there too. I
We've
like the
been doing
sauce. I like the sauce.
yeah, doing a lot more mountain mics lately because that's close to one to
Yeah.
us. It's pretty good. They slice those things really thin, which I like.
Yeah,
But
their large
any-
pizzas are very large.
If you have a bad pizza, you basically just nuke it heat it up as hot as you can, and that'll make it probably taste a lot better. That's my secret.
We'll go and we'll get stuffed crust and we'll go out to the drive-in in Concord.
Yeah,
It's
It's a fun time.
I mean,
yeah.
you answered your own question in the first sentence. I'm in a good pizza town.
Yeah.
like we are
I'm
not.
not. Yeah.
I mean, yeah,
Oh,
but
there's some pretty
both
decent.
things can be.
can't- I
No, San
can't- I
Francisco is
can't
not a
get-
good pizza town.
I can't even get
It
Domino's
is
or
not.
Pizza Hut to deliver where I'm at.
Like Patchy's is the only really good.
Oh, Golden Boy's pretty good.
Yeah,
Nazario's I've always found to be. I used to eat at the Nazario's around the corner from me like 4 times a week.
But these are all a different tier of pizza. We
Sure.
don't have the like good delivery, like
Oh,
better
okay.
than Domino's, but like those are good. Like go to a restaurant
Sure.
or like if you're feeling really fancy because they're more expensive. Or
Yeah, I was
whatever.
like both things can be true, right? Like it's a bad pizza town, but also sometimes people just want like the crappy fast food option.
Yeah.
yeah,
Sometimes people want to go to Taco Bell and not get a giant burrito.
Yeah, like that's the thing. I still eat Taco Bell, and this is one of the best burrito cities in the world.
Truth.
have you seen this new show Taco Chronicles on Netflix?
No,
I highly recommend it.
I want to check that out.
It's about like 6 different kinds of taco meat and fillings, but the narrator is telling you the story from the perspective of the meat. So it's like, I am carnitas. I am made from it's all in Spanish, but it's really, really good. It's like, it's basically chef's table for tacos. It's
Yeah.
fantastic.
that sounds great.
Highly recommend it.
Being that this guy is from Connecticut, are you guys familiar with New Haven style pizza?
No.
Like did I see you nod, Jan, or no? Did I?
Negative.
You have to look it up. I don't know. I'm not super familiar with it, but apparently it's like a whole style, just like Chicago deep dish is a style or New York is a style.
What's their like? Is it a crust thing?
Uh, A style of thin crust, coal-fired Neapolitan pizza.
okay,
common
so
around-
like that, probably really crispy.
Yeah, so like burned crust appears to be like one of
Sure.
the
Crisp it up.
hallmarks of it. Yeah, it's like it's weird.
I like that.
I like a thin, crispy.
I like the trend now of pizza places, and there's a couple ones in the city that do it well. Of like having multiple styles. Like here's your like classic margarita. Here's a Detroit. Here's like a thin. Like they kind of have all the different types instead of just all the different toppings.
Star Pizza on Alameda is pretty good if you want that kind of thing.
Mm.
I get Zachary's Chicago style for my birthday every year.
Is that the one? Is that the from like you fly it in or
No.
'Cause there's
There's
I know
two
there's other ones.
Zachary's.
Okay.
Yeah.
I really like Little Star, but I haven't been there in a very long time.
Oh, it's still good.
Yeah. Cornmeal crust.
Oh yeah, it's so good.
Pretty good.
That's how my wife
I
makes
do
it.
like a cornmeal.
We're actually
Big
having
thing-
that.
Now is cauliflower
I
crust,
just bought
apparently.
some frozen
Yeah.
cauliflower crusts from the Trader Joe's, and I made pizza with it. And it's honestly like I mean, I could tell you that there is a difference, but it's so small that
Yo, as I'm gonna make a bold assumption, I probably eat the most rice in this room.
probably.
Probably.
Well, I don't know. We should compare notes.
It's an obscene amount.
yeah,
Okay.
you're probably right.
Yeah. I tried cauliflower rice over the weekend. It's not bad at all.
Yeah.
If you season
Pretty
it
good.
well and put
Yeah.
it with the right foods, yeah.
I need to convince my parents to try it to save them.
I don't even love cauliflower.
Yeah. Cauliflower is great.
Cauliflower is great.
I
Roast
found
it
out I
up.
like broccoli over the weekend.
Hey,
That was a
broccoli's
big- That was a
fantastic.
big
It
moment
is.
for me.
Broccoli. I like broccoli.
I don't know what the next email is.
All right.
Talk amongst yourselves.
It's about broccoli.
It was a beef and broccoli, and I was
Beef
like,
and broccoli
is
I'll
really
eat the broccoli. I eat so many more foods now.
Chinese
maybe I'll like
broccoli, infinitely better than regular broccoli.
The oil really helps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you prepare rice at home? Do you make a lot?
Steam it.
Steam it, white rice, but what kind
White
of toppings?
rice. That's it.
Decide really chicken.
That's all I have.
Really?
Yeah.
I've always been in the search for like something really good, like 2 ingredients to put over rice, and like soy sauce is kind of the classic one, but that gets really strong.
I'd throw some ginger in that pot, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Broccoli over letting broccoli steam over rice at the end is really nice too.
We do
pro
a
move.
chicken broth. every
Chicken broth
once
is
in a
good.
while.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
All right. Andre from Germany. Hearing that you all consider the Switch Lite to be the, quote, right thing for Nintendo to make was kind of surprising, since I was hoping for the complete opposite. A stationary home console version of the Switch, presumably with a decent controller, and due to the lack of a screen and batteries, maybe even a significantly lower price point, around the $175 mark. Do you think there is enough leeway for Nintendo to release a home-only version later? Or is the Switch now de facto a handheld, thus having not to compete with PlayStation and Xbox?
Handheld's always done Nintendo right.
Yeah. I don't really see any kind of path to something like this.
I'm the wrong person for that as somebody who plays almost exclusively in handheld mode.
Yeah.
That is the most appealing part of the Switch to me.
And like, how do you advertise that? Like, it already seems gimped. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's lacking features.
Like people already seem upset that the Switch Lite doesn't have.
Also 170. It
Everything.
would be like
Yeah, there's no way they would drop the price that much.
yeah.
But more, it just doesn't really make sense. Like, how does that fit into their product lineup?
Right.
How do you want that in the back of an airplane seat?
I saw some people have been doing some testing with that new. So the light's not out yet, but the regular Switch with the new chip and the longer battery life is on the market. Like, you can buy it right now.
The red box. You got to look for.
People have been doing some testing with it. Apparently, like, games are not going to get faster. Like, Nintendo is not allowing. Like, that thing apparently can run faster than the old Switch, but Nintendo. The word is Nintendo is not going to let developers like clock higher on that new model to get better frame rates or anything
So
like
it's
that.
mostly a battery
So
thing.
it's just it seems like officially it is just a battery life thing.
Okay.
Have there been reports about like
The modding and hacking scene is a totally different story though.
Right.
From the sound of it.
because they were originally saying it was going to be something like up to double.
God, what was it? I think the old spread was like 2.5 to 6, and now it's like
4 to 8,
4.5 to 9 or something like that.
Yeah.
It's a pretty big jump. Like, if you're buying a Switch now, you'd be crazy not to look for that thing.
Curious how long it takes to charge, because the Switch takes a long time to charge up. From
really
0
does.
to 100.
Yeah.
Reminds me, I got to charge my Switch.
Okay.
My train ride home. My students need me. I have to feed them.
All right. Last email from Derek, who included his phone number for some reason.
All right.
All right.
Give
Don't
him a
call Norm.
I'm not gonna read it,
Oh, well, you can just give it to me. We'll call him up.
We'll
But
put it
I-
on speaker.
but I have it just in case. After listening to the podcast last week with the email about the ruined electronics, I figured I would share my story. When we were younger, the family used to vacation at the Jersey Shore. We used to bring the Xbox 360 for the rainy days. It sat on the coffee table right next to the couch where my brother decided to go to sleep one night after we drank a little too much. In the middle of the night, he woke up still half asleep and decided he could not make it to the bathroom and figured the only logical place to relieve his bladder was on the coffee table.
Never been that drunk.
When we woke up in the morning and realized what he had done, and after he cleaned it, we decided we may as well see if it still worked. To my surprise, it fired right up with no issues. It works to this day.
Oh God.
What
That's a
was
damn
the device?
record.
An
It was a
Xbox
360.
360?
Yeah.
Maybe it didn't get much, because those things have a hard top. There's not like a lot of vents
No,
to.
the original model had little holes on the sides.
Yeah.
I actually, the revised model had a giant fat vent on the top.
Yeah.
But those vent, well,
Maybe we found out how to cure the red ring.
Yeah. Maybe a chemical reaction took place. That's I don't know.
Holds the glue in place longer.
Yeah, maybe we should get Derek on the line and get him to maybe you should call him on the after show and see if he has any context to add to this story. Don't pee on your consoles.
Don't pee on your consoles.
I mean, they're your consoles. You can do what you want.
Right.
Yeah. What?
But don't pee on your
Make sure they're
consoles.
your consoles.
That's true. Yeah.
Have you guys ever ruined a console through like water?
Well, of course, once I would say regardless of whether it was yours to begin with, once you've peed on it, it is your console.
True.
I'm
Yes,
sorry.
I lost
Oh
it.
no! Have you ever broken a console through like dropping it in water or anything like that, or a DS? My PC has a big vent on top of it. I'm always drinking water at my PC.
Yeah,
I'm always super worried
that's
about
a
it.
little.
But I haven't done anything to prevent it from happening. I'm sure I won't before something awful
My
happens.
360 and my Vita were destroyed by water.
Oh, yeah, fire first, then water, right?
Well, the fire never hit it.
Okay.
I've had a keyboard get real sticky from losing a soda on the desk.
Nice cover, dude.
Was that from fire department hoses or was that sprinklers in the building?
Yeah, that was so it was a 3-alarm fire, which that means apparently is how many departments are being sent to a fire. Or how many fire stations are sending out people, and so they were lined the entire street with fire trucks all spraying.
Just doused the entire building.
Yeah, and the roof just kind of caved in from the water.
We have there's a sprinkler head right over my PC and a bunch of other stuff in the room that it's in.
Oh,
Just covered up.
Every once in a while, I'll look up at that and it's
Perfectly
like
legal.
duct tape.
Like,
I
destroy everything.
I live in fear of somebody like starting a grease fire on their stove or something in the building and just having it like destroy every piece of electronics in that room.
Looking for one in here too. There's one right up there. There's fire. I mean, you have to protect your employees, but the amount of like money that would be, the amount of equipment that would be damaged
This room would
significantly
be
in a fire here
donezo.
would be a big insurance payout.
Get a new table though.
Yeah.
All right, that's it for emails. Bombcast at giantbomb.com.
Let's end it before it gets into arson talk.
Ooh. Shit.
Jason, how bad do you want that new table?
I just want to take this one home.
Can't talk about this on the air. This could be
You're
internet
right.
evidence.
It's not live.
Yeah.
Podcasts aren't live.
No. It's all pre-taped.
What's going on after this?
After this, Jan's going to be joining me.
Oh, cool.
What?
Damn. You just got field promoted.
Here we are.
You ready to become an honorary 3 a.m. boy?
You should tell. Have you told the story on the Aftermath about how I think someone that works in this building found you and just yelled 3 a.m. boys at you?
I haven't not told that story.
Okay.
We got some new pins in the store from a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Also,
Yes.
we've been doing some dumb shit on Instagram. If you're not
Yes.
familiar with us,
Yeah.
Giant Bomb, Instagram.com/giantbomb.com. Put up a little story every day.
Yeah.
Run down the schedule. If you haven't watched it, we're also on Facebook.
Yeah.
I think I'm pimping. I'm just pimping.
We made
Just
those awful Monster Energy drink infused corn dogs that we teased on here. If you want to check those out, last week's Unprofessional Fridays.
Yes, check out a raucous UPF
Yeah.
next week. We'll have some stuff. Like I said, games are coming in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's time is
Big
upon us.
Heating up.
Another
Streams.
get on my level.
Yes.
Coming this week.
Coming when
Streams.
tomorrow. Okay.
There's a Genesis Mini sitting in the box.
Oh.
On my desk.
Ooh, I heard that thing's
Does it have Vector Man? Can you tell me if it has Vector Man?
Find out.
Okay.
Have to open that thing up and see what's in there.
Only Vector Man 2.
Yes. I'll take it.
So stay tuned for all of that. And then finally, this time next week, another one of these. We will see you then. Thanks.
Support for today's show came to you in part from new Starbucks Triple Shot Energy. Starbucks Triple Shot Energy has 225 milligrams of caffeine from Starbucks coffee, a hint of flavor, and enhanced with guarana, B vitamins, and ginseng for the energy to do what matters to you. It's available in 3 delicious flavors, including French vanilla, cafe mocha, and caramel. Find it in your local grocery or convenience store.